You're about to listen to TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello, Internet.
All right, I did my bit. See you guys next week.
Yeah, check you later.
And welcome to TADPOG. Tyler and Dave and Ian and John. Play old games.
It doesn't quite have the same ring to it.
It's better.
Just gotta get used to
Sounds
it.
amazing.
This week we're talking about that NES classic, Top Gun.
Yeah.
I went to the danger zone.
So before we talk about the movie and or movies and the game and or games, what you guys been up to?
Had a weird week.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Put it on the bingo spot.
It's not a work weird week.
Oh, okay.
Just weird shit happened to me this week.
What weird shit happened to you this week?
Well, before I get into that, I'll just really quickly say what I've been watching on TV, which is I finished The Boys, and I finished The Boys spinoff known as Gen V. There's a whole season of a spinoff of The Boys called Gen V, and it's really good too.
What's the V for?
Well,
Vendetta?
probably.
Yeah.
Compound V,
Velveeta.
Vought Industries from the show.
Okay.
Compound V is the thing that gives the soups their powers and so on and so forth.
Okay.
But anyway, watch that, and then just I found something else to watch. Fargo, the TV show Fargo.
Yeah.
Which is sort of a extension of or related to, if you will, the movie
I love
Fargo.
the movie.
I've been super, super, super happy with this show. It was unbelievably good. I can't believe it. We had started watching it back when it came on TV.
Do you have to watch the movie first to get the show?
It helps, but it's not necessary. There's a couple of from the show. There's a couple of callbacks to the movie, and one or two of the things is pretty important, but it's not mission critical that you watch the movie. But I do recommend the movie.
The movie's great
because the movie's fucking great. And anyway, so I've been watching Fargo, and it turns out it's as good as they say. So this week for some reason, I just decided one day at work at about 2:30 in the afternoon that I was going to go get my hair cut. I don't know why. There was no reason for it. I was just sitting at my desk working, and then I'm like, I want a haircut. So I booked a haircut and left the office and went and got a haircut.
Not for me. No, not for you. No.
I'm in agreement with you, John.
Yeah, no. Rarely ever do I get that impulse.
I just cut my own hair. I don't have enough just by paying anybody.
Exactly.
To ever do
Yeah,
it.
that's exactly what I do.
But I mean, there are definitely points when it's like, fuck, I need to shave.
Now that, yes.
So
yeah.
like, it could kind of be the same.
I guess so. Yeah.
Because I don't know. I mean, I assume you like to keep it at a certain length. I mean,
yeah. It's just,
it's usually clean,
It's rarely ever grown out enough that I'm like, fuck, I need a haircut.
Well, I mean, I don't normally get that urge, but I couldn't. It was overwhelming. I needed a haircut right fucking now. So I logged in. I go to Great Clips.
He literally turns to me and is like, I'm going to leave for about half an hour. I was just like, all right.
Wow, you did need it.
Yeah, I did. I got on the app and booked the thing, and they sent me a text and said, you can come to this. They know where you're at. So they tell you should leave now. And I did, and I showed up at the thing.
It's not creepy.
It is a little bit creepy. But I showed up at this thing, and I sat down, and there, lo and behold, my name's up on the screen. I'm next in line. It worked. I was like, sweet, this is amazing. So I'm sitting there waiting for them to call me, and this guy walks in, and he's carrying in his hand a pint of milk and a slice of chocolate cake in a plastic wedge-shaped plastic
Was
box.
this Randy Holland or?
No, that would have been
No,
a
it
loaf
wasn't
of bread.
Randy.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right.
So he walks in and he's got his cake and his milk, and the lady when you walk into Great Clips, they say, "Did you sign in on the app?"
I'm
Meaning
assuming this guy did not.
Meaning you should have signed in on the app.
Right.
Otherwise, you're going to be here a while.
Pint of milk, slice of chocolate cake. This guy doesn't strike me as an app guy.
That would be an apt assumption. He had not signed in on
Profiling.
the app, but he looked at her like he was kind of. I don't want to say offended, but he looked at her like,
Taken aback.
no,
Like, or-
I didn't sign in on the app.
Was he falling down?
No, he wasn't. I looked. I was watching him closely because I thought this is the part where we all die.
Right.
But anyway, he was like, "No, I didn't sign in on the app." And she's like, okay, well, it's gonna be." He had walked up to the front counter thing at this point, and it was right next to me. He's like, they're like, it's gonna be probably about 40 minutes if we can text you when you're ready or whatever. And he's like, okay. And then he sets his cake down on the counter, opens it, and begins to eat it while he's talking to her.
Yeah. Like you do.
And they get him signed in, and then he folds the plastic cover
This
over
was fucking man.
his cake
was.
and takes his milk and turns around and goes and sits down in the lobby, and then reopens the cake container and continues eating his cake. He couldn't wait. He needed cake like I needed a haircut. He needed it immediately,
Yeah.
and was not going to wait
I
to
think
go
this is why
sit
you
down.
needed the haircut immediately.
So I could see the guy
So
with
that
the
you could-
cake.
so this could happen.
Well,
yeah.
there's more,
Good.
but not about the cake guy.
Damn.
I'm out.
You had me until then. So I go and I sit. They call me to go back and sit down. So I get up and I go sit down, take my jacket off, sit down in the chair.
Yeah.
And this woman who's going to be cutting my hair is chatting me up, and she's putting
You
a
smell
little
cake?
Does it smell a little cakey in here to you? She puts the cape around me and she's like, "Did you go to blah 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 high school?" I'm like, yeah. She introduced herself as someone that I haven't seen since 7th grade. And she was a friend of mine in 7th grade. And I remembered her well. I didn't recognize her because, it had been 50 years or 30 years, whatever it was, And so anyway, I sat, and it was just the weirdest thing to hear her name out of the blue. And then we sat and chatted for a little while, and just she cut my hair and we talked, and it was a nice visit, and it was weird and but pleasant, and that kind of thing doesn't usually happen to me. And it was weird that she saw my name, so if I had seen her name, I would have immediately known who she was.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying she recognized me, but she recognized my name. And so I thought, well, that was neat. And I came back and I told John about it, and we had a laugh. And
You didn't tell me about Cake Guy, though.
I was saving Cake Guy.
Saving Cake Guy. Okay.
So it was just weird, but neat and pleasant and cool. So the next day, I had gone to this past weekend, I had gone to drop something off at the UPS store that was a return for Amazon. And they took it, and I hadn't gotten any tracking updates on it. So and it's time sensitive, this thing I returned. And
Cake.
it was cake. And they said, so I called the store. I called the UPS store, and the woman answered the phone, and she's like, well, we've been having some trouble getting some stuff out of Paducah. There's been weather and delays and things, but chances are it's still in transit. It'll be fine, but I'll give you a number. And she goes, by the way, is this Ian Chandler? And I'm like, yes. Because on the delivery
TADPOG.
of TADPOG fame, on the delivery thing, it just said Ian.
Isn't Sage?
It just said Ian C. It didn't have my full name. And I'm like, yeah, this is he. And she goes, this is and I don't want to say her name, but it was a certain young lady that I talked about on a previous episode where I got paid money to talk about sex stuff.
Right. That's a Patreon bonus episode.
And if you'll remember correctly, I told a story
This
about
vomit or chopsticks?
This is the one where I puked.
Oh, that's a horse of a different color.
And again, it was because I just went too long. Didn't have my technique down yet.
The stomach can only hold so much.
It wasn't her fault that I threw up. It wasn't because she was disgusting or gross. It was because I just did it.
Quite the opposite, actually.
She's a listener now. Copy that.
Considerably not that way. Now, I'd also mentioned that it turns out she's gay. Now, she didn't, I don't think, know this then, but she's, but she says this is blah, this is her, this is me. And I'm like, holy shit. I said it. John was right there. I was like, oh my God. I said, I have to come see you. And she's like, okay. I said, I'm serious. Is it cool if I come over there and see you right now? And she's like, yeah, come over. And I was like, she's like, I'm the manager of this store. And I was like, okay, cool. So I went and I got up and left work again.
Did you just get a haircut?
This was the next day, but once again, I just decided I've got to leave
Listen
here.
to this episode, and you'll know why I have to leave.
Well, so I did, and I went down, and that place is real close to work. So I was only gone about 20 minutes, but I went over and visited with her, and we caught up a little bit, and said our hellos and everything, and it was just once again one of these. It was a weird 2 days in a row. Two people from my distant past just happened to cross my path. It was and it was fun. It was a neat little occurrence, and it didn't. There's no real twist here. There's nothing else to it. It was just a neat, kind of a strange week for me.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then
It's a good strange.
Then I found out maybe my roof's leaking,
Not
but
dark
we're
hole
not getting
strange.
into that.
Maybe.
We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, that was my weird, wonderful, wacky week.
That's where we're going. John, what you done, man?
I had a very normal week that was not interesting in any way.
You should leave work more often. Huh? You should leave work
I
more
know.
often.
Apparently,
It helps.
yeah.
That's where the interesting shit happens.
I'm just gonna.
Get more haircuts.
Yeah. No.
I know a girl who could cut your hair
Cut
for
my
you.
hair. Yeah.
Well, that is Oathbreaker Blake Woods' vice is haircuts.
Really.
Fucking loves this shit. It's like there's no
I
better
get it,
feeling than
man.
getting your haircut with a woman, like the way that they just touch your scalp and shit. Like,
Yeah,
it's the
dude,
best.
I get
Fucking
it.
bad.
I really do.
advice,
I
and
miss
enjoy it.
getting haircuts, but
You
it's
had
not
luxurious
really-
hair back in the day.
Yeah.
The best hair. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
I miss having hair. It was cool having hair, especially that hair. I didn't appreciate it at the time.
We
I
rarely
did not
do.
get that its epic nature then. But yeah, I do miss that because it is nice. I totally understand where Blake's coming from.
I need to find that picture of you shooting the gun with the.
I've got it.
Okay, with the shell in midair.
Yeah, that you
ejecting
took.
That I
Yeah.
took.
High
This
speed,
picture
black and
I will
white.
try to find
a great
and
photo.
post on the Discord so everyone can just get a feel for exactly how
It was
wonderful
ridiculous.
and luxurious John's coif was back in the day.
How old are you? I took pictures of John Turley when he had hair.
yeah. No,
I mean,
it's-
that wasn't that long ago. Come on. Come on.
Were you there that day?
No, I was not there the day that photo's taken. I think I was at work.
somebody had to be there.
You were kind of low man on the
Don't feel too bad.
I was fine. I was playing Ultimate. It was all
playing
good.
Ultimate. Oh no, I have to spend the afternoon at work.
That was the best job. I mean, that was
Oh
like
God, yes, it was.
my personal computer is there. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
You can have this computer, but you can only do work stuff on it. Or you can bring your computer in and do well, we don't give a fuck what you do. Like, okay, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty amazing.
But yeah, no, nothing noteworthy has really happened to me in the last week, and
What about before that? What about since the last time you were
the
on
last
the show?
time I was here,
until
probably,
today?
but I don't remember because I'm not good on the spot.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to think. Nah,
Okay.
no, not much. I live a very boring life. It's okay though.
It's just what you want us to think.
It's
Yeah.
okay. No.
Yeah.
He's a spy, fellas. You're playing it up a little too
I'm
much.
running the long game.
You really
I'm
are.
doing
You
that
are.
like the
We're
Americans.
pushing
type
up
shit
on
where
30 years long game. At least if I'm part of it.
It got me at a very early age.
Dave, how about you?
Oh, I bet you could guess. Just listen to audiobook called
Yeah.
Wolves of the Kala. Still not done with that book. Holy shit.
I
I'm
know you were on
almost
the
done
you're on the
with-
third part, right? Like,
Yeah, I am on the third part, but it's
Yeah.
this has been a long go. I know I said this last week. It's not that I don't enjoy it. I've been enjoying it. It's just taking a fucking long
I
time.
hear you. I'm probably a couple of hours, give or take, away from finishing Wizard and Glass.
I was curious if you'd caught, like, when I was driving over here, I was like, I wonder if Ian has caught up to me.
With you, much with what you've been doing, I've really only been listening in the car, and other times I've been watching or listening to other things. Trying to pace myself a little bit on it just to make sure I get it all, because there's been so much shit that I missed that I'd forgotten about. You know, I mentioned that.
Oh, I found
before.
that all the time in the re-listen. Like,
Yeah.
how did I forget about this?
Right, and
There's a lot to
To be
keep
fair, there's a
track of.
lot going on in these things.
Yeah.
So
And like King will touch on something and then let it fucking cool for like a book.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
a
And
whole
it's like,
book. Yeah.
oh yeah, shit. Something just happened in the Wolves where it was like, oh fuck yeah, I forgot about that shit. I can't remember what it was now, but I feel like I have that moment like I don't know, twice or three times a book.
Yeah, yeah.
Still enjoying it. Maybe by next episode I'll be like, I'm on the next book, which I think is Song of Susanna.
Song of Susanna, and then The Dark Tower. The biggest one.
Is that the longest one? That makes total sense
Yeah.
that it would be. Yeah.
And I don't remember fuck all about that one, except the end. And so I'm anxious. I'm
That's cool.
excited to get there.
I
Man.
randomly remembered one part of that,
I did
and
too.
it made me get chills and tear up in my car when I just suddenly remembered it.
No, the part I remembered was not a chill, getting emotional thing. It was a funny part. Whenever the guy, Suzanne, I don't want to say it. I don't want
about
to
to
say
say,
it. I'll get to it. We'll
It's way
talk
too
about
hard.
it later. We'll talk about it.
There's a
later.
guy. Fuck.
Fuck.
You've ruined it.
That's where I'm in the wastelands. Oi just was introduced, so I've got like 7 hours left on the wastelands.
Love
Like
Oi.
Oi.
Love Oi.
Yeah, there's this thing with like Stephen King books, I guess in particular, where it's like I read them and I really enjoy them, and then I kind of forget stuff that happened.
Yep.
Because like they were, I loved November 22nd, 1963. I love that book, and like I liked it a lot. I read it when it came out, and then they're talking about in Wolves. Very recently, they're talking about how, I guess minor spoilers, maybe, I don't know. Callahan was talking about how Black 13 and is talking about thinking about using it and what he might have used it for.
Yeah.
And the Kennedy assassination is the thing that comes up. And it's
Yeah.
like, man, Susanna was talking about Kennedy being a fucking gunslinger
Yes.
like books ago.
Yes.
And it's like, so now I'm like, fuck. I can't remember the main character's name in 1963.
I can't.
Can't
either.
remember how he time traveled. There's just so much
Okay,
shit, and it's
Thinnies.
like, was there a tie-in?
There was a
Was it a
Thinny.
Thinny?
Yes.
Okay.
Thinnies are a recurring character in a lot of his
I remember
books.
where it was, but I don't remember
yeah,
exactly
it was
what
a Thinny.
was.
There were several Thinnies mentioned in that. I saw the movie. I didn't read the book, but I saw the movie. and Finney's come up a lot in that one.
I got to reread it.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the movie. I kind of forgot.
It's a good movie. I enjoyed it. That's having not read the book. I'm sure it seems like it was one of the few Stephen King movies that, there's a handful of them that are really, the movies are super excellent representations of the book.
Yeah, and then there's a whole bunch.
And then there's a whole bunch that are just not. But
The Lawnmower Man.
Oh man, I forgot that was him.
Such a shitty fucking movie.
God, that's
Such
the worst.
A shitty movie.
I never saw it.
Ooh,
You're not.
I heard it was not.
It's
great,
worth
so.
watching to just to have about an hour and a half of cringing the fuck out.
it's bad. It is.
It is terrible movie.
Bad.
I've seen it a lot of times.
And I'm sure it was bad. It was bad then. I remember watching it as a kid and being like, "This is bad." And like I was a kid.
My experience with Lawnmower Man was when we watched it the first time, I initially thought it was awesome. And every subsequent viewing after that was like, oh wait, no, this movie sucks.
It's horrible.
This is really bad.
And I haven't seen it recently, but I can't not imagine how fucking poorly it is aged, given the main character and given his disabilities. I'm sure that it is
No, I don't think that would go over well at all.
pretty rough.
I just watched a TikTok talking about how 12, whatever, 60, whatever the one with the Kennedy assassination, that King book, connects to the theme and how it connects to the Dark Tower, and that it being one of the strongest examples of Caw and trying to fight Caw.
Oh boy, yeah, because that's like
That
a big part that I totally remember is like, I mean, I don't want to give that story away, but like, time does not want to be changed. Time does not want to be changed.
Yeah,
and it's like,
and it
that's what the
won't
book
be.
is about.
Yeah.
I mean, it is like all the shit he goes through
Yeah.
to try to change time, and how it's just something always. Fuck, I don't want to. Give anything. I don't. I've said too much, but. That's a great book, and reading The Dark Tower has made me want to like.
I may
reread
pull
it.
that one after I get done with these Dark Tower books. I may pull that one and read it or listen to it, because that's one I never read. So.
I got to do The Stand. I think I got to do that.
The book is pretty good. It's good
because it's got the biggest tie-in, right? That's what people have told me.
I'd say it's probably yes.
So I've got to. That's on the list.
I was thinking,
after.
I was doing my mental checklist of what things, and then I came across the big thing. I'm like, oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's also like, I read Salem's Lot. Granted, I read it in high school.
Sure.
Boy, do I not remember fucking anything. And I liked it, but I don't remember a fucking thing about it, man, other than being like, well, this is a cool modern day Dracula. That's all.
Yeah.
That's modern day, put that in
70s
quotes.
modern day, right?
But other than that, like there are things that have been mentioned in the Wolves where it's like, nope, don't remember that.
Yeah, that one is another one that the movie was pretty good.
I haven't seen.
It was
movie.
okay. I mean, it was done in the 70s or early 80s as well, but it was pretty good. I remember when my parents sheltered me from a lot of things when I was a kid, and one time they just decided they were going to give it a shot with me. It was probably 7, and we watched Salem's Lot, and it scared the holy shit out of me.
Yeah,
I knew,
at 7, I imagine
knew
Jaws
there were
scared me at
vampires
7.
floating outside my bedroom window. It was not a good time.
Yeah. That's I remember the first Stephen King movie I saw was Pet Sematary with my dad, and I was fucking scared shitless, and I honestly don't think that's a very scary movie. But
Cujo freaked me the fuck out. when I
Cujo
was a kid.
was fucking scary.
I never
And-
saw Cujo.
and
Cujo was one of those realistic.
Yeah.
that was.
That's one
very,
he doesn't remember writing. I saw that.
But
He
like-
was so coked out.
Oh, he
has
was
no
coked out.
memory-
Oh, it
no
doesn't
memory of
fucking
writing
shock me at
Cujo
all.
whatsoever.
But like I watched part of it. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched part of it like as a grown up and was just like, this freaked me out that much. Like it, it just didn't. But
for me,
but yeah, I
that
guess
movie
when you're
freaks
a kid,
me
man,
out.
Shit
Yeah,
changes.
it does.
Like,
But that movie freaks me out now because of how plausible it is.
Yeah.
Like that
Well,
movie
yeah.
has very little mystical anything. It's just about a rabid dog.
Yeah.
Who's got a mother and a son trapped in a
what's the
car
one- Did he do?
in the summer.
Did King write the one about the car that
Christine.
Yeah,
he
he wrote
did.
that. Okay,
I saw the movie.
that movie was good.
It was a
I
pretty
haven't
good.
read it.
I don't know why I thought about that.
He did Firestarter, which was okay,
don't think I
an
saw that.
okay book, but not such a
Man,
great
I did
movie.
not like that movie. Nikki and I, like, Nick, that was one of the first movies Nikki and I rented together because she was like, she knew I liked horror stuff
Yeah.
and Stephen King. And she's like, have you watched Firestarter? I was like, no. She's like, it's great. I watched it as a kid. It's great. We rented it, put it in. She was like, I'm sorry. This is not as great as I remember.
Yeah, that one does not age well. It's better when you're young and then you forget about and you just think it's awesome.
Right.
That's one of those you don't want
that's
to
one
go
of
back
those.
to. Another really good time Stephen King movie, if you haven't seen it, is Maximum Overdrive.
I have not seen it.
It's silly and it's amazing.
Is
It's like really, it's a good time. It's not like a good movie. It's hilarious, but also kind of terrifying. Emilio Estevez is in it.
Okay.
A number of other fabulous actors from their day are in it. I loved it. I love Maximum
All right.
Overdrive.
I'll check it out.
It's the one with the Green Goblin on the front of the diesel truck.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Okay. Well, you should watch Maximum Overdrive.
Okay.
Great movie.
I'll watch it.
Great
Is there
time.
a
Not a
NES
great
game?
movie. Great time.
Is there an NES game
I
tie-in?
don't know. Maybe.
And I'm going to set the record straight. I love Pet Sematary.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those movies where when I watch it as an adult, it is scary, but it's not because there's a scary cat in it. It's scary because it's like, fuck, that road is dangerous. Jesus Christ.
Yep, I know exactly what you mean.
Holy shit.
How do you get that far down the yard? That road, what? Yeah, that's the worst part.
That's the most horrifying part in that movie for sure.
I had to look it up because I wasn't sure. Although I'm sure everyone else knows this, but I didn't want
Nope,
to sound like an
probably not
idiot
me.
if I said it wrong. But I did not realize until way too late that Stephen King wrote Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
which is literally, in my opinion, one of the best movies ever made.
Absolutely.
favorite movie.
Green Mile as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I knew that one, but I did not realize Shawshank.
Johnny
he
Coffey,
wrote.
you got the touch, right?
That's right. That's right.
Or
The
The
Shining.
The Shining.
He wrote. Of course, he did Green Mile. He did The Running Man.
Right.
He wrote that
Really?
as
Bachman, right?
Bachman, his
Oh.
pseudonym, among others that were made into movies like that. But yeah, there's a lot of his work out there in movie
Yeah.
form.
Other than that, playing Final Fantasy 14, making progress in that.
You capped out Black Mage. Is it?
Black Mage is at 89, and what has happened has been like, man, I got this job so close to 90, and I'm so bad at playing it that I don't want to use it, like in dungeons and shit with people who
Right.
can be like, dude, what the fuck? How'd you get to on 89? Which no one's like that. I really haven't run into people like that in this game, which is nice. But
Yeah, 11 was not like that.
yeah, 11 was a lot meaner.
Yeah.
Not as mean as World of Warcraft, but pretty mean. It could be pretty mean. 14 is like, it's pretty nice. There's a lot of people who play that game who like, I get the impression that they don't really do. They treat it as a social experience and
Right,
don't really engage in a lot of the gameplay mechanics. And it's like,
Because like I'm okay with this.
I'm cool with that. That ain't how I roll, but I'm cool with that. I dabble a little bit, dress my character up in some stuff like that. That's fun. But like, yeah, when like there are ads and like shouts and stuff in towns, or it's like there's a party that's being DJ'd and like da 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 da, and I'm like, I will not be there. That's cool that
But
exists.
good for you guys.
People are enjoying it, and they're like, we're streaming on Twitch. I'm like, I am going to run some dungeons and fight some monsters, but you guys have a good time.
Man, I was for like a very short period of time I got back into Lord of the Rings
I
online.
remember you telling me this.
Yeah, and it had like has not
changed.
changed. It's exactly the fucking
It's the
same
same.
game.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
It is like
That's-
time traveling.
Yeah.
But it was funny, like I didn't really recall people I would recall people like playing instruments and stuff in the game. But like this time when I was rolling through Bree, there was a whole fucking band doing a concert.
Yep.
Like they were literally playing their instrument and they were like
Yep.
covering song. Like you could tell what song they were playing. Like you would walk
Yep.
out and be like, "Oh shit, I know that. I know that song. That's really good, actually. How are they doing that?"
This
and they're
is
all the
Unix.
different, all this. I know
Spare
this.
no expense.
And they had this huge crowd, and I was just like, all of these are players. Like all,
Yeah.
I was like,
This
holy
is all
shit.
of them. This is
This
all
is-
of them.
I was,
Dozens of us.
I was really blown away by how many people still fucking play that game. Like,
You can do that
It's like,
in if you
holy
play a
shit.
bard in Final Fantasy 14. You at a certain level, I think it's like 30 or something. You unlock the ability to play
Manually
music.
play the guitar,
Right, you
or
can
play
manually play whatever it
instrument.
is, and
Yeah.
it's synthesized, whatever the
Yeah.
instrument is. And what's funny is when I unlocked it, that you're greeted by so many fucking pop-ups. It's like from Square Enix. They're like, do not play copyrighted music. Do not do it. Check this box that says you will not play copyrighted music. It's like, okay.
like, click, yeah, go fuck yourself. I'll play what
Promise.
the fuck I want.
They were real aggressive with that. Not an exaggeration. I think there were 2 pop-ups that were like in succession. So they're just covering their ass.
We're
Yeah,
serious.
no, I
You
get it.
promised.
You did. You promised. So yeah, I've been leveling Black Mage like through daily quests and through PvP.
Okay.
And it's like because the PvP skill set is different from the rating skill set. Similar qualities.
I know how you play these games. You're better at killing people than
I am not. I am super not, especially in Final Fantasy. PvP be hard.
Yeah.
In that game.
I'm just
And
joking.
it's-
I'm just referencing your Ultima Pass.
Yeah, yeah. Man, even when I got back into Ultima Online Renaissance, like it is so hard to be a PvPer when you do not have a network of people who play the game
I could see that. Yeah.
to like support you with like
Resources and
gear.
Yeah.
And
You know,
like,
Franco
oh,
making-
shit, you lost all your shit. That's
Let's
fine.
go get it back.
I made 20 of them today. Here, you can have 3
a
sets.
whole
They've always
backpack
said
full
grieving
of
takes
shit.
a village.
Yeah.
You have Franco back there making you GM potions or poisons.
Poisons, man. He was the best at Black Widow. Yeah. But yeah, when you don't have that, whew, it's hard.
Yeah.
Because it's like, shit, I died. Oh, fuck. Oh, man.
I'm dead. I got
Now
nothing.
I got, nothing. Well, that sucks.
Oh, I was hoping I'd have to start all over.
Yeah. I did a treasure hunter for a bit in that game, and with like GM lockpick and like GM stealth and all that. It was fun until it's not, and it's like. But anyway, yeah. So, still been playing this Dancer on Final Fantasy. Dancer's at 85. That'll get capped real soon because I like that job
I
a lot
like it
better.
a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah, jobs with casting bars. I don't know. You got to move around a lot in that game. A lot.
Okay.
And it's like, what I run into is like,
okay.
all right, I'm casting something. Okay, I got to move. I got to move or the thing this boss is doing is going to fucking kill me. So I got to move, stop, and restart the cast. All right, I got to move again or this thing's going to kill me. One day I'll cast my spell. So, anyway. Dancer, you don't have to worry about that. Dancer's just like 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I can press 4 now. 4, 1, 2, 1, 2.
I played some more Final Fantasy VI T edition. It's very fun. Really, really liking it. I thought I was gonna have to quit and start over at one point because I saved on the snowfield where you fight Kefka in Narsh. I saved.
Good one, Narsh.
And Narsh. The difficulty spike was tremendous with Kefka. He's doing shit that you don't see until like far into the
Southern
World of Ruins. Well, he'll do like double cast and then
fun.
fuck you up with 2 spells.
That's fun.
Bio.
Fallen
no
one.
one should know bio at this point. Yeah, it was just like it would happen more if I brought Celeste with me. So he's like, "Oh, Runic, you can get one of these, but not the other one." Mm-hmm. It was so my normal tactic. I remember what's very cool about this is Guau learns rages at any time. You just fight the enemy. So you don't have to be on the Veld. Just anytime you fight them. And it's much, much nicer. So I just happened to fight, in that battle, there's one soldier that runs really, really fast in front of Kefka. I fought him and learned that. It's the only reason that I finally beat him. Because I had to, because normally you split your party people in different parties. I usually do like 3-3-2 or something like that. That tactic did not work. I ended up having to restart and do like 4-1-1 and send 4 out to get Hell Rider and then Zerg rush Kefka as fast as I could. And that's when I happened to win, only because that one rage does such an unbelievable amount of damage. But I was like, okay, this is definitely a different game. Difficulties. Other than that moment, the difficulty I noticed like this, a pleasurable amount. Like this is good. It's better that it's like this. The treasures being different and like science sword tech is much faster. Lores are stronger. I mean, but everything in the magic. The Terra and Celeste have like way fewer hit points, but way higher magic. They're more like traditional mages. Everything just makes sense. I like it a lot. One thing that has changed is before you get an Esper, you have to fight it. Otherwise, its Magicite won't work for you. So I got my ass absolutely destroyed by Seraph after the Magitech factory. Like that was, I had to like, all right, guys, I'm gonna stop. That was really bad. So, thank you. Goodbye. But really enjoy streaming it. It's a lot of fun.
How do they handle Magicite that there is no fight for, like Stray?
Well, the one like Ramu, since he trusted you, you can do Ramu, and the ones that he gave you, like accept you, so you can do that. Anything else, you have to fight. So
they just add fights.
They just add fights.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
And they add their own enemies and shit like that. Like the Elder in Narsh happened to have a piece of Magicite, and it was the Catoplaws or whatever. I had to fight him, which I didn't think I was going to win. That was a long, long battle because it was just out of the blue. And then I won that one, but Seraph beat my ass. So I'm looking forward to like the Phoenix fight and shit like that. I think that'll be a lot of fun. I think what else was a lot different that I thought was cool.
You have coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I always have
Do you want some coffee?
I could smell it. No.
Okay.
No, I'm trying to not drink any caffeine after noon.
Yeah, no, that is
God damn
that is
it.
also my rule, my friend.
God damn
I'm
it,
with
that coffee smells super good right now.
Tastes good too.
I bet it does.
But how do
so
you
much
stay
taste.
awake until
It
1
tastes
a.m.,
good.
John?
Somehow I still find a way.
Do you really?
Even despite the trazodone that I take that is supposed to knock me the fuck out, it just puts me in this really weird state, but
Good
not
weird or bad
asleep.
Sounds like a good weird to me.
Good weird.
I can't remember. Excellent.
Exactly.
Yeah. What's this called again?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
You're good. Shadow is unbelievably badass in this version. He's
badass in the
he's
regular
a natural. He's a natural
It
dual
is.
wielder, so no Genji glove needed.
That should be.
He and Interceptor do special combos. Locke, I notice is it makes me sad. I think Locke's sprite, which matches the art better, but I think it looks goofy and he's pretty shitty. That's the only The only thing I don't like is Locke sucks all the way around.
Does he suck because they changed him, or does he suck because they didn't change him and changed everybody else? Why does he suck?
He seemed like he has high speed, but now you can't dual wield full size swords, so only knives. So his damage is way down.
That's lame.
His speed is up, but now his hit points are lower because he's a thief. I guess it's the difference between like Shadow's a ninja. Ninjas are better than thieves in every way. So like, there's no reason why
graduate
you
to
would
ninja
ever
from thief. So I mean,
So there's no reason to ever.
That does kind of stink.
Can
Shadow steal?
No, Shadow. You get an achievement. They have a whole huge like in the training room or whatever in Narsh. Now there's an extra section of achievements and in-game challenges and shit like that you can unlock. Looks very, very cool. And like sealed rooms that you unlock the more you do things. And I mean, overall, pretty happy with it.
Do they give Locke, because thief is one of my favorite jobs when it's done right. And a lot of times it's not done right. But like in 5, thief is cool. Like, do they give Locke like the ability to like see secret passages and stuff like that?
I wish. Not that I've noticed.
Because that would be cool.
That would be cool, yeah. And or if he like had a higher
Fleet.
Run rate, something. But I haven't noticed anything like that.
That's a bummer.
So, let's say magic users are a little bit better. Saban's blitzes are stronger, and Chris Vaughn actually taught me a trick, the no diagonals trick. That the blitz, you don't actually have to put in the diagonals. You just tap that same direction twice.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
And it fucking works. So I'm sitting there like doing fire dance without any problem and shit that I've never been able to do. It's like, okay, yeah, awesome. But yeah, science way more usable. But yeah, no, great shit. Great shit.
Cool. Are you running it on Super Nintendo? Or are you emulating it? Or
emulating it? Yeah.
Will it run on like a flash cart? Do you know?
I bet it would.
I was just curious
because it's a ROM hack of the original Japanese.
Oh, okay. So it's okay. Cool. Then yeah, it probably would. Most of those do.
So I mean, yeah, if there's one out there, I'd highly. If you're a fan of Final Fantasy VI, definitely,
it's okay.
Definitely play.
It's all right.
It is. I'm waiting for something to. The encounter rate seems really high. That's only a bummer that I don't like so far.
Probably because they want you to beat Kefka when you meet him.
Yeah.
God, I thought the encounter rate was high anyway.
It feels higher, even higher now.
No,
like I'm ready. Like, give me a fucking charm, Bacon. Give me a Moogle charm, something.
It wasn't my thing anyway.
Right,
but
right.
it was one of the things I remember finding to be a pain in the butt was the encounter rate was high.
And I feel like the encounter rate in Final Fantasy VI is just about right. For me, and that's like for like playing a bunch of other RPGs. Where it's like,
it helps to be
shit.
able to level up. I know that's what it's for, but still, it was like,
I get it.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Because what is it? Breath of Fire? I think it's Breath of Fire. I can't remember if it's 1 or 2. One of those games, I feel like the encounter rate was like.
Oh, I quit 3. I quit Breath of Fire 3 because it was unbelievable.
Because what happens to me in games where they have super high encounter rates, especially in a dungeon, I'll take 3 steps, get in a fight, I'll get out of the fight, and then be like, okay, where was I?
Yep.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
And I'll
takes
go
you
like,
out of the.
I guess I'll go west. 1, 2, 3. No, this is the way I came. Fight. Fuck.
Yeah, I do that too.
100%. Relics are function differently. Some of there's no imp, it's frog or toad rather. And then like
That's a weird change.
I found in the Returner's hideout, like there's a crack in the wall. Like if we could turn into a toads, maybe we could fit in here. Like there's bonus shit like that all over the place. And the toad sprite, you look like Frog from Chrono Trigger. So there's some cool little changes.
I wonder if they took that from Baldur's Gate 3 because I mean not like the frog from Chrono Trigger thing, but like Baldur's Gate 3 makes use of reduce and large because there's a lot of like, oh, there's a little crack in the wall. Let's use this spell that's like, I don't know, never been used outside of an actual tabletop game.
I like that, yeah.
Well, okay, we're small now. Let's go through here. Oh, cool, a little area. So I wonder if
I like that. Maybe you're right.
got inspiration from that.
And I like that. I'm glad they did it.
I like that
The
too.
pubs have side jobs you could take for money and items and stuff.
That's cool.
Like I had to clear a bunch of dogs out of the cave of South Figaro and stuff like that. It was cool. So highly recommend.
If you want to check Tyler out playing this game, you can. And our YouTube channel. He streams it live.
Yep.
And then if you want an announcement of when that's going to happen, the best way to find that out is on our Discord. At
Discord, yep.
bit.ly/TADPOG
Discord, X,
Taste the
which
piss.
I don't,
Or
I don't like even
tastethepiss.com.
using X, Twitter,
You
whatever.
have an X? Like, I didn't know Tadpog had an X. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel gross about
do.
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
not like
it's that
But
platform.
Facebook, the
Just-
YouTube channel, once you subscribe to it, and then but Discord.
Okay. So yeah, you can see all those cool upgrades and changes to the game live and in real time with Tyler on the YouTube.
My
on the stream.
the third different version of Final Fantasy VI I'm playing for the channel. You guys want to do a draft?
Sure.
Sure.
Oh, you feel better now. I feel like we need to address that. COVID.
Oh yeah, COVID is totally better.
Great. Okay.
No, I've been picking it.
I mean, I could tell. I don't know if these two could.
COVID now.
I knew you knew.
Yeah, I appreciate you getting me out of work for a couple days.
all good.
I really need to get.
You guys will
I gotta
thank
get the
me.
answer to 90 fast.
Or
So-
just go get a haircut, Dave. Just get up and go get a haircut.
Yeah, I guess I could. I guess I
Or
could
say
do
you're
that.
going to get a haircut and then don't. It doesn't matter.
How's their cut? Good. I'm 86 now.
I thought, what about we do a cocky asshole draft?
Okay.
Cocky asshole characters, because there are a fuck ton.
Okay.
Oh, I don't have prep for this.
Yeah.
Me neither.
I-
It'll be all right.
Because that's how I see Maverick and Iceman as cocky
Well,
assholes.
there's my
So-
first two.
well,
So you watched the original Top Gun.
Yep.
Okay.
I've seen
Have
Maverick.
You've seen Maverick.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I have not seen the original Top Gun in a very long time.
We'll talk about
Yeah,
it.
I'm
So I
ready to
don't know.
talk about
I
it.
don't know a whole
You'll
lot
get there.
about it.
You'll
but
get there.
Eventually.
I don't remember a whole lot about
You
it.
will. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Let Jesus take the wheel. It'll be
Or
fine.
the yoke.
Whatever.
Guest host John Turley, pick a number 1 through 4.
4.
4. All right, so we'll base this around John being 4, going around clockwise. 4.
You're first.
Man, I can't even think of one.
Well,
some
just were just
Tyler
named.
just
right.
named
Yeah. So I guess I'm gonna take Maverick. Yeah, he's kind of a cocky asshole. You're right.
Do these have
He's
to
very
be?
skilled though.
No.
But yeah,
Okay.
cocky asshole. They have to be what?
Nothing. It can be whatever you want.
Great.
It can be real people. If you want to just name someone you know that's a cocky asshole,
one else
Yeah.
you can
knows.
do that.
Yeah.
Hey, I
Let
think
me
you.
call Nikki, see if she'll bring me my
100%.
yearbook.
Hey, don't you? don't you have someone in mind? Ian?
I do. In fact, he's my number 1. It's funny you bring that up. Simpatico. That's what we are. Go ahead, Dave. You're right.
Cocky asshole. I will go with Tony Stark,
Nice.
Very good one.
That is a good one. Yeah.
who
is-
I like.
Yeah, but he is.
But he is a
definitely
cocky asshole.
A cocky asshole. Yeah. I'm gonna go that route with you just a little bit before I get to my pick because I know it's a guarantee.
It's a lot.
No, none of y'all are gonna get that one. And you know you can't say the guy Ian was gonna say.
Fuck. You're in my head.
Stephen Strange.
Yeah, he was going to be my
Yeah.
number
Yeah,
two.
I mean
No
that's
doubt.
it wasn't. I forgot about Marvel, so yeah, Stephen Strange is definitely my number 1.
James T. Kirk.
Okay.
So that's kind of a misconception.
Yeah, let's have this debate because I need to come up with a second character. So please,
Oh, I don't have one either. So I was.
I'm not worried about you coming up with yours.
I was going to seriously lean
Yeah, this
on-
is a
on
game.
you
I don't know.
guys.
I saw Chris Pine beat the Kobayashi
Okay,
Maru
that-
eating an apple. Looked like a real cocky asshole to me.
Yes, you gotta. That's Kelvin timeline, Kirk. That's a little different. That Kirk
That's
is
Kevin kind of
actually.
Do a Star Trek podcast, they said. We'll think it's awesome, they said. Fucking 2 minutes in, he's making fun of us.
Yeah.
No.
Well, no one picked Kirk.
In the prime
No, I meant, by the way, you were just teasing him.
in the prime timeline, they have there's this cultural perception of Kirk, the character of Kirk from the original series, like banging all these alien chicks. He doesn't. He flirts a lot, but he doesn't like actually
off
see it
screen,
through very often at all. In fact,
ruin this
somebody like went through and was like, yeah, Spock got as much ass in the original series as Kirk did.
Let me ask you this: do you feel strong
Vulcan.
enough to overturn me?
No,
You
not
feel
at
strong-
all.
like,
I
he's
mean,
not- no, he's not
because
that
Kelvin timeline Kirk is kind of a
Okay.
cocky asshole.
And that's who you were referring to specifically.
Because that is
Because you said Chris
that is
Pine,
the
and
Kirk
that
I
makes
know.
sense. Okay,
Okay. That's okay.
So I'll even write Kelvin
the-
timeline.
there you go. Cool, we're good now. But no, like
I'm going to pick regular timeline, Kirk, and see what happens.
I'm gonna go get another twisted tea. This could get real fun real quick.
It's your turn.
I don't have one. I don't know.
Any cocky asshole, and not my. Not
How
my
many
guy.
people did you
spot.
work with at Apex? I can think of two.
That's I can't do that. I can't do that. I don't know, man.
There's probably one in any movie that you can think of.
Oh, who was that? The blonde kid from Harry Potter that was a dick.
Malfoy.
Malfoy. Yeah.
Is a cocky
There you go,
asshole.
Malfoy.
There
That
you go.
works.
Perfect. You got 3 more you're going to have to come up with. We will.
Get you.
We'll get you
We got
there.
you.
John went to get twisted tea, which is 5% alcohol by volume, from what I understand,
Drink
by
responsibly.
reading the side of the can. Dave, you're up.
Tyler Durden.
Tyler Durden?
Ooh,
Thank you.
good pick.
Thank you. Yeah. Maybe the cockiest of assholes. Or the assholest of cockies.
What was the name of the blonde kid, bad guy from the Karate Kid?
Oh shit.
The main bad guy, the one that he fought and
Yeah.
beat.
That
Spoilers.
he's the star of the
The Karate
Netflix
Kid.
series, and
That's
Yeah.
an NES game.
Yeah.
there
Hold
we
on, let me look
Oh,
real
yeah,
quick.
that's good. There you go.
Ooh. Have we done that game?
No,
We haven't.
Oh, I think we have a winner.
because that was in How I Met Your Mother. Kind of started that whole thing.
His name is William Zabka in real life. Plays Johnny Lawrence. Johnny Lawrence.
Whoa. Different ones. That's Joey.
Joey Lawrence. Yeah.
My number 2 will be Reed Richards.
Ooh, good pick.
It's
Number
me again.
3.
I don't know what made this pop into my head. I was talking to somebody about this movie at work. Royal Tenenbaum.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I like it.
He's redeemable. He's kind of a cocky asshole.
Dave.
This is probably going to be controversial, but I'm going to go with Clark Griswold because
I think that's a great pick.
he is a cocky asshole.
He is. No, that's
He's
a great
loser,
that
but
is
he's
a great
also
pick.
definitely a cocky asshole.
Absolutely. 100%.
Like there's so many times watching like Christmas Vacation.
Yeah,
with
especially
Nikki and I were
in
watching
Christmas
it. I was
Vacation.
like, "Holy shit, this guy!" like,
Yes.
Ian.
Casper Van Dien as Juan Johnny Rico from Starship Troopers.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
That's
He
a good one.
Comes around, but he
Yeah,
is a
yeah,
cocky
yeah,
asshole.
for
Especially
sure,
at the
cocky
beginning.
Yes.
I will say Captain Malcolm Reynolds from Firefly.
Oh, good one. Good pick.
Otto from A Fish Called Wanda.
Dude, I
thought, like,
love
from The
that pick. Perfect. You said
I
you
mean,
couldn't do this. That is a great pick. That's a great pick. Good shit. I love it.
Kevin
Come up
Kline,
with some
man.
good ones.
Fucking Kevin Kline. The best part about Otto is he's so confident.
Oh my God! It's literally the
he's wrong
cockiest
about
person
everything, but he's
ever.
so confidently wrong.
Apes don't read philosophy. Yes, they do, Otto. They just don't understand it. Great movie, Fish Called Wanda. Check it out.
I need to
Wiz and
watch it.
Sage
It's 80s
says,
as
check it
fuck.
out.
I need to watch it.
It's so
4
good, though.
stars. Wiz and Sage says, check it out.
I've heard great things. That one was just like, and I remember my parents watching it. And I can't remember exactly. I was so young that I can't remember if it was like they didn't want me to watch it or I didn't want to watch it.
I
but I
feel
remember
like-
them watching it.
I feel like you probably that one's better when you're a little older. It's definitely not a comedy. It's not that it's bad or real, awful for kids to see. I just don't think most kids would get it or appreciate the humor. Very Monty Python-esque, dry, but very funny and extremely well acted by everyone involved. So yeah. Did they make a game for Fish Called Wanda?
Fucking
They
should
made Jaws.
Okay, this week we're doing Jaws, and we watched A Fish Called Wanda. Okay, Dave, you're up.
Dennis Nedry from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
That's another really good one.
See, no one cares.
See, nobody cares.
I do love that. I do. Like, that's a line that I did not appreciate as a child, but like the older I get, the more I
It's really
want to
good.
use that line
Yeah.
because
Hey, everybody, Dave's here. See, nobody cares.
nobody cares.
Buying some stolen shit.
Yeah, number 4.
My number 4 is Eldred Jonas.
Yeah.
From The Gunslinger, The Dark Tower, specifically Wizard and Glass. I hate that motherfucker. I hate him.
I don't hate Eldred Jonas, but what I was wondering the entire time I was reading it was why does Tyler like him so much? So I'm going to ask you now, why do you like Eldred Jonas so much?
I didn't. I was just reading the book at the time, and we were discussing how to play characters, and Jacob was like, dude, play Lawful Evil. Dude, play a Lawful Evil character. Who can you
Okay.
think of to play Lawful Evil? I was like, I guess Eldred Jonas.
Yeah. Okay.
So it wasn't that I had a particularly strong affinity for the character.
Interesting.
It just Lawful Evil in my head at the time of just in that hot minute.
yeah.
I just can't stand him. It's just one of those things for me that I can't wait to see him get what's coming to
because he
him.
thinks he's so fucking
God,
smart.
he thinks he's
He
got
thinks
them
he's the
figured the
fucking-
fuck out.
He thinks he's the fucking best. And
Even the first time I read
God.
that book, I can remember thinking, "Oh, this motherfucker's gonna get it."
oh yeah, you know he is.
Because
But like,
there's no way you build up a prick like him and don't eventually
but there's
mete out some justice.
There's
to
something
him.
that's better than that. Though.
Yeah.
And I love
Yeah.
that that happens.
Yeah.
I love.
So-
I love. There's something better than that. And it happens, and it's like fuck
Yeah.
I know it's
So-
good because of the look in your eyes when you said that.
Dave's
man.
got that glimmer. He knows what's up. But yeah, Eldred Jonas is my number 4.
Number 4 will be Bugs Bunny.
All right.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Good pick.
All right.
All right.
Yes.
Is this the last one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Fuck. It's almost my turn.
I know, right? So I don't know 100% that this qualifies because he's definitely like sort of an endearing character, but I feel like he is kind of a cocky asshole. Dwight Schrute.
No,
Yeah,
perfect.
That's great.
He is an endearing character, and he does have moments
Yeah, no,
where
he definitely has
you
redeeming.
love the guy.
Yeah.
You can't help but love the guy. But he is a cocky asshole from the fucking get, dude. You got that.
I think The Office does a really good job of like showing different dimensions to characters who are otherwise kind of two-dimensional. You know
Right,
what I mean? And it's
exactly.
like I think that contrast is what makes it really sharp too, because
Well,
it's like
And they do it in such a way where it's like believable. Like it's like, yes,
'Cause it's
this is a
real-
different side of the character, but it's somehow still not out of character. You know, like it still works.
Dave, number 5.
I'm gonna go with Troy from the Goonies. Troy is Andy's boyfriend.
Okay. At the well.
At the well.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a really good deep cut.
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
I love the
plays
Goonies.
that?
Me too.
I don't know who plays him. That's a good question.
I think I don't want to say he's like I don't even an 80s kind of like star. I think he's just some dude that they got from Central Casting that fit the bill. You know what I mean?
Right up Troy's bucket.
Yeah. right up Troy's bucket. My final pick is that guy from work. And you know who you are. If you're listening to this show, and you think you know, if you think I'm talking about you, I probably am. In fact, I definitely am. You pissed me off today. You put me in a bad mood today, and I don't like you anymore. And if you're listening to this, but then you come to me later to try and say, but I'm going to deny that I was talking about you. These feelings are not going to change. It's been brewing for a long time, my friend. Today was the final straw. Had it. You're my number 5. You are immortalized as my number 5 on the Cocky Assholes draft of TADPOG in episode 750.
Branded in there.
It's permanent. That means it's real. That means it's real. You're a cocky asshole, sir. Not you. I'm just looking at you.
No, because I know. Yeah,
you know who I'm talking about.
I know.
John can confirm that I am absolutely 100% justified in saying what I'm saying. And that is my number 5.
Okay. I'm very torn between two answers. One, I know very well. The other, I've just heard everything in the world said about this character. Well, we could.
No.
Let's go to 6.
Not.
I got a 6 loaded, ready to go.
I'll go with the one that, because it's been a while since I made a reference like this. So from everything in the world I've ever heard about this dude, he is the biggest, cockiest asshole. That is Morrissey.
So, I've heard that. And I could see that could be true.
My number 6, the other one, my alternate I was torn was Vegeta. So.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good one.
Toss out your honorable mentions.
Shooter McGavin.
Oh, that's good.
That's
I
a
eat pieces
really
of shit like
good
you for
one.
breakfast.
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast?
Yeah. So Shooter McGavin. I haven't seen what's...
Oh, Doyle?
Oh, Doyle rules. I haven't seen what's happened.
Dennis from It's Always Sunny.
Oh, yes. The TikTok man, perhaps. Although I've only seen the beginning of him, and when I saw him in the beginning, he was a cocky asshole.
I don't know who that is.
From the Dark Tower.
Oh, okay.
Who? I'm sorry. What did you
The
say?
TikTok man.
Oh yeah.
I don't-
Gasher.
Yeah, but Gasher's...
Gasher's not. Yeah. I would pick Gasher, but TikTok man is definitely a better fit for the category.
Yeah,
You're
that's
not
what I was
wrong.
thinking. And man, Gasher came the fuck up. His name came up in Wolves just
Oh,
recently, and I
boy.
was like, God damn it, motherfucker.
Remind me of him.
No shit.
I had Steve Harrington from Stranger Things.
Ooh, that's a
Steve the
good
Hair.
pick. That's a good pick.
Oh,
Cabbage Head.
man, he's like like that last season though.
So I haven't seen
seen
all
it?
the last season. He does get better. Once he
Dude, he's
graduates, he gets better.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he redeems.
I can't say Dr. Reed Richards without saying Dr. Doom. Victor Von Doom.
Homelander from The Boys.
Oh,
is
yeah.
a
Omni-Man.
cocky asshole. Yes. Omni-Man.
I'm gonna start that soon.
Cool.
Brandon Eves. There's Brandon Eves.
Yes.
Oh, shots fired.
I almost said Sasuke
Oh, yeah, 100%.
from Naruto. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's legit.
Orochimaru.
Avatar. The guy with the burn.
Oh,
Fuck.
Can't think of his name.
he also gets better.
He
Yeah,
does.
yeah, I can see his face. I can't think of his name though.
What's that
Aang,
supposed to mean?
Toph, Katara, and
The rest.
All the rest.
Ozai's his father. Iroh's his uncle.
Yes, we know his whole everyone
Bloodline.
around him.
Did you guys even watch Avatar?
Azula's,
did.
Azula's his sister.
Azula's brother. Did you all see the the trailer for the new Avatar movie?
You
or
posted
series?
it, but I have not watched it yet.
It looks really good.
Is it live action?
Yes,
or?
and
Oh,
it's
no
Zuko.
shit.
It's Zuko.
Zuko.
Thank you. Zuko's a good one, but it's a live action adaptation, and it looks pretty spectacular.
Who's doing it?
Netflix.
Okay, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, and it's
They're dipping hard into that live action anime.
I can
bucket.
tell you, they are. Well, apparently One Piece was a huge success, and they've been talking about Avatar. I watched that trailer, and I got to tell you, having watched Avatar, I recognized every scene from the trailer.
Yeah.
I recognized everything. So they're going hard with the.
It doesn't make me feel good that the
spot-on
creators quit,
adaptation.
though.
I
They started out with it and then they quit.
Yeah.
They actually worry about it.
I don't
Who?
know. I don't think it'll
The
lose
creators'
its way.
Avatar.
Oh,
I don't think
really?
it'll lose its way. It looks like it's going to be pretty good, pretty
Yeah.
consistent. So I'm excited for that. Zuko, yeah.
Magus from
Danny
Chrono
Zuko.
Trigger.
Magus. Yeah. Magus is a very good one.
He's so cocky. He thinks he can beat Lavos by himself. And you know you can't.
Yeah.
Good draft.
Yeah.
Good try.
Yeah. That was a good draft.
All right.
Before we go into the game talk section, we've got a package,
We do.
and I've got it right here. John was kind enough to open it.
Thank you, John.
I'm now
Yeah, that
providing a
Foley.
little Foley.
Looks like some notebooks.
These look like notebook. There is a letter included. It says on the envelope, though, you don't have to read this letter on the show. It's mainly a list of the pictures. So this is some sort of notebook type thing. Oh, it's a calendar. These are calendars. It says so right here. 2024 calendar.
It's paper with boxes and numbers all over it. I don't
They're
understand.
the same, so I'm going to hand you a calendar. Dave, you get a calendar.
Okay, thank you.
John, you can borrow mine if you'd
I'll
like.
just look at Dave's.
Now, who are these from again? I'm sorry.
I think, are these from Nate from Utah?
Yes, I believe that is correct.
Utah?
Man, these are probably photos he took,
I think
is my
I think
guess.
so.
Oh,
wow.
heck yeah.
Because I've seen him post photos, and he
Holy
takes some really good
shit.
photos.
God damn, Nate.
Dude,
I mean, I'm not positive. These are really,
these are
really
so
good.
good.
Yeah, these are wild.
Like, I don't even normally give much of a shit about nature photography, but this is some seriously good work.
Inside of the envelope, proud to say, says honk.
Yay.
That's definitely Nate. I know that honk anywhere.
Okay, so I'm going to read a little bit of the letter.
Yeah, go for it.
Tyler, Dave, and Ian, Merry Christmas. Hope you all doing well. Lady Glines or I took each of these pictures
Wow.
in 2023.
Shit,
Holy
Yes.
shit,
Yeah,
Nate.
wow.
Nate, dude,
These are fucking awesome.
Insane how good these photos are. We've got to put this. We've got to put some of these up on the Discord. Or Nate, if you
Yeah,
have
if you
digital
could-
versions and you want to
That would look
toss
a lot
these up in
better.
the
He's got to
Discord,
take our next waifu pillow set picture.
we
Yeah.
need you
Where
to
did
post some
Niagara
of these.
Falls?
I want to know like where these pictures were taken because I want
Well,
to go
John,
to some of
gotta-
these places.
I have a list.
All
Give me
right,
a month. What's your favorite month in there? And I'll tell you.
That's hard, man. I haven't made it through.
What's
all
the
of them
first month you saw that was like, holy shit, I love?
Hold on. I saw one that I was like, holy shit, that is fucking believable. March.
March is Silver Falls, Mount Rainier, Washington.
Mount Rainier. Okay.
I've heard of that place. He says, love you guys. Nate from Utah. P.S. The theme of the calendar is water. He didn't say it like that. I just did for some reason.
He spelled it out. Wa-tur, T-U-R.
Yo, December is impressive too.
December, John, is Blue Lake, North Cascade.
It's fucking blue.
Tell me, Dave, what is July?
July, Cape Perpetua,
Ooh,
Yachats, Oregon.
I think you got it.
Got it in one.
And then, last but not least, I'd like to know May.
Ruth Lake,
Well, this
Utah.
Ruth Lake.
Somewhere in Utah.
Ruth.
this is an excellent gift. You should
is
be so proud of yourself for y'all's skills.
Absolutely
This
should.
calendar is amazing. And if you would, Nate, if you would like to put some of these pictures up on the Discord, please share your good work, your beautiful work with our listeners that come out there, because this is very deserving
This
of
will
that.
go in my office.
For sure.
I am bringing this to the office, so
Whoever-
John can enjoy it with
I will-
me.
yeah, exactly.
throughout the year.
And I will. That's awesome, man.
Thank
the
you so
production,
much.
like whoever
Yeah,
printed
it's really
these
great
calendars is
binding, really
good,
great
too.
printing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you so
Great-
much,
great
Nate.
gift. Thank
That
you,
is a
Nate.
great gift. You should sell these. People would buy them. I bet he sells them.
I hope he does.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'd buy that for $1. Speaking of things that were said in movies about games that we played in the past, would y'all like to talk about Top Gun?
Top Gun.
Let's talk about Top Gun.
Take a little $5,
Yep.
come back, talk
Yep.
about the movies and the game.
Yep.
Sounds good.
I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say about the movies and the game.
Well, you will be curious no longer in about 5 minutes.
Bye.
And now for the game.
Game
Movie
talk.
Game talk.
Right. Top Gun.
Wait, are we doing the game talk or the movie talk?
We usually
we
talk
should
about
do
the
the
movie
movie
first. So, Top Gun.
It's a movie.
I assume that you both have watched now the original Top Gun.
Yep, for the first time ever, I watched this 1986 movie with Nikki a couple nights ago.
Question.
Yeah.
Did the questions that you had from watching Maverick first get answered by watching this one?
They got answered, but I already knew that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the Maverick does.
It's not exactly
Right,
riveting
right.
storytelling. I mean, we're not talking
You
about...
can Maverick, I knew it happened, but it's kind of one of those where it's like, I feel like it would have been more impactful had I
Yeah.
watched Top Gun before watching Maverick.
Possibly.
Top Gun 1986. I was 5 years old. Did not see the movie. Wasn't super interested in planes or flying them or war stuff. So I never watched it. But I liked it as an adult. I liked it. Are we going to talk about Maverick as well?
We can loop it in there. I mean, it's not a lot. They're similar movies.
Yeah,
I mean,
they are. They are very, very similar movies.
But to be fair, I think I liked Maverick better.
See, that's the big question. Is I want to ask everybody which one they
Now-
liked better.
In 1986, I was 13, and I was all about Top fucking Gun. This movie was
that very
was
much.
directed square at me and my demographic, white teenage boys.
So I was 6. when
That's
this
not
movie
fair.
came out.
Just teenage boys, because I knew a lot of black kids that loved this movie too. We were all about Top Gun. We all were. We loved this fucking movie.
So I was only 6, so I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it later, like on VHS. I remember renting it, like with my dad, and watching it with my dad, and being like, "Oh, this fucking movie's awesome!"
This
I loved it.
It is a good movie.
This
I
is
think
the
I
first.
think it's a good movie.
Well, and at the time, it was
Oh,
the
yeah.
end of the fucking world. Now, this is the first movie I ever went back to the theater to see a second time in the theater.
I can see that.
I couldn't get enough. I
Just
loved
like
it.
Maverick, it's very visually impressive.
Yeah.
even at the time.
Yeah.
And I liked Top Gun better than Maverick.
Really?
Yeah, and part of that reason is the shots in Maverick are really fucking good, but the shots in Top Gun are also really fucking good and done in 1986. There were so many shots in that movie where I was like, holy fuck? How did they get that?
Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah.
They had to invent things for this movie.
And it's not CG. You know
It's
what I mean?
not.
There's also that
It's
where
not.
it's like,
Oh, they definitely had a partnership with the Navy. too.
They
Like,
paid $1.8 million to use the aircraft carrier and the planes. And in 1986 money, that's a whole fucking
Fuck yeah,
bunch
it
of
is.
money. Today, that would be a discount.
And it was a recruiting poster for the fucking Navy.
They set up recruitment booths at movie theaters, and they went fucking. The Navy was about this. They were all about getting that action-y movie out there, getting people excited. It worked on me, although I wanted to join the Air Force. When I went to talk to my recruiter, I was like, I want to fly planes. I want to fly fighters. And he's like, you never will. And I said, why not? He said, because you wear glasses. And I said, see ya when I see ya. I wasn't interested. Now I think back, and I think I should have, because there was a lot more to being in the Air Force than just flying planes.
right.
Yeah.
Things that I would be doing
I wonder if they
similar
let
to
you,
what I do now, only on a much more advanced level.
I'm curious if like you have LASIK, if they'll let you fly planes.
I don't know. I think they've. I think
scares
they're.
the shit out of me. I see so many absolute horror stories.
I've heard
stop.
that too.
And every
yeah.
doctor that does LASIK, they all wear glasses.
My problem is that I have an astigmatism, so LASIK
Same.
wouldn't work
Girl,
for
same.
me anyway.
That's my
but
problem.
I think now they have less restrictive requirements about vision, especially considering how much more advanced like the computer technology and the radar and the tracking and all that
Yeah.
is. But back then, there was you got to have perfect 20/20
Right.
vision. You won't even
The
get to look at a
avionics
plane.
Little
packages
Miss Sunshine
and the
ripped my heart
planes.
out whenever
Yeah.
the kid wants to go into the Air Force, and Steve Carell's
Yeah.
character is like, "Oh, you're colorblind.
Yeah.
You'll never do it." And he loses his mind.
I didn't lose my mind,
That-
but I was
That's such a good
disappointed.
movie.
Yeah.
Fuck,
It is
that's
a great
good
movie.
It is. It really is. I was very disappointed. I didn't go crazy and lose my mind, but I
Yeah.
was very upset by that because there wasn't anything he could have told me. I mean, as I was walking away from the table, he was trying to be like, but we could do all kinds of things for you. You know,
Right. Yeah.
And it's
Nope,
like, blah, blah,
Top
blah,
Gun.
blah, blah, blah. I want to fly planes. But, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And- but that movie inspired me. It was
Do I get a call sign? No.
No,
Not
fuck
interested.
Four eyes.
I was very patriotic about it. I was very USA. You know, it was a very formative time in my life.
Oh yeah.
and
And it was like kind of the height of the Cold War too.
it kind of
So
was
there was
exactly
that fed
Every movie,
heavily into that.
every movie it was about the Cold War and spies and things.
Mm-hmm.
All the movies I watched were anyway. But you know, in Top Gun, they never say it's Russia.
Right. And same in Maverick.
And
they
in
never
Maverick.
say who it is.
We
exactly.
know who it is, but they don't say it. They never say it's enemy, and that's it. Just enemy.
They're flying MiGs, but
They're flying Russian jets, and they have a red star on their uniforms. But whatever,
that could be anybody.
could be anybody. It's a red star. No, Russia doesn't have a monopoly on red stars.
That's right.
So,
It's Russia. They don't have a monopoly on anything.
needless to say,
Or so I'm told.
this movie was very impactful for me.
Yeah.
I owned this game, so we'll get to that in a bit. But I remembered.
Me too.
This is one of the few games I actually owned. So
Yep,
we'll get into
me
that when
too.
we talk about the game. Tyler, what did you think about Top Gun? I smell a meh.
Melissa got mad at me. She's like, "I'm gonna have to go out there." I was like, "No, you won't. I won't, but I should
I'm a texter.
Go out there.
come out
Oh,
and
to
record."
defend
Dude,
Top Gun.
she totally
She
should.
loves Top Gun. Her
Oh, then
her
she
badge
should've
reel
come
at
out
work
here.
is "Talk to me, Goose."
We have
Yes.
we have another microphone.
It's right here. Let's
I mean,
I'd love
has
to. I always
anyone
try to get her out.
in your life ever said Negative, Ghost Rider. The pattern is full.
No.
Yeah, see, that happens to me. Tanya says that to me all the time. Negative, Ghost Rider. It's just always Top Gun. I'm quoting Top Gun.
It took me a second to even remember.
I didn't know where that was from until I saw Top Gun, and then I was like, "Oh, it's from Top Gun." Okay.
I get it.
That's
I get it.
That's
now.
a quote I've heard all my fucking life. And
Yeah. At least since 1986.
I
I
really
was
enjoyed Maverick.
inverted.
Melissa's dad took all of us to the movies to go see Maverick when it came out.
Which I love.
I liked it. I still think it's kind of a very filtered pro-American war propaganda piece, but I enjoyed
That is a
watching it.
common sentiment, and that was the case back then too in 1986. I have some trivia about the movie for y'all today, and that will come up. But one of the things I liked more about Maverick, they realized. I always felt like Top Gun, and I have some trivia, but Top Gun was a little bit too drippy for me. There's too much of the romance love story shit in it
But
for
see,
me.
I like the romance in Top Gun. I like that story. I thought that story was so much more interesting than the romance story in Maverick, where it's like, here's Jennifer Connelly, she's hot, runs a bar.
Yeah. 'Cause the actress from the actress from the first one looks like
Was
Paula
it-
Dean
it
now.
was Kelly
we had to
Mc-
go a different direction.
Kelly McGinnis, right?
Kelly
It'd
McGinnis.
be great to have a Paula Dean looking
Tom
romance.
Cruise fucking feeling up Paula Dean.
Butter. Butter. Stop. Tom Cruise is like, stop saying racist shit.
Get on your white gloves, Tom. Give me your butter.
But
It's Maverick.
I like this. I like the student teacher like relationship angle in Top Gun more.
I thought there was. I just never cared for it, and I think probably because it hit at a time in my life
Right.
when I was wanting planes and
Right.
not, movie. I liked girls, but not in my movies.
Sure.
unless they were girls like
God
from
damn, they can't
Fast
talk to
Times
each
at
other, for
Ridgemont
fuck's
High, or Revenge of the Nerds,
I
or something. That
exclusively
was
watch
my
movies that fell in
girls.
Bechdel test.
That being said, though, they I believe that was a common sentiment because they cut a lot of that kind of stuff out of the second movie, which was Star Wars.
Oh,
That
yeah.
movie, the end scene was the Death Star trench run, almost scene for scene.
And I liked in Maverick, something about Maverick that I liked better was that they had a mission.
Yes,
that was neat.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And in
That's
Top-
exactly what I'm
In
saying.
Top Gun
there
1,
wasn't.
it's just like, we're in school.
We're in school,
And at the end, it's like, holy shit.
we've got to fight
Oh, it's
for
not school
For
anymore.
real. It's actually happening.
All right.
But this time they had a mission, and it was the Death Star trench run.
Right.
And I'm not
And I liked all of
complaining
that.
because it was awesome.
Yeah,
And
they did a great
of course,
job.
then
on it.
we got to take modern technology and modern camera shots. And
Right.
stuff. Very little CGI was used for this movie. The only CGI that they used was the missiles hitting planes because they didn't want to
actually
blow up planes or shoot missiles over potentially populated areas, things of that nature.
Right.
But that's why I liked it, because it got down to the good shit and it stayed there, and
Yeah.
there was enough of the romance for me, and enough. I think they
should
should
just cut out all of that.
they should have just left it out and
Okay,
been
it was
like,
not
fuck
good.
it.
I felt like the romance. Jennifer Connelly is nice to look at,
yeah, she
and I
is.
appreciated when she was on the screen.
It was unnecessary.
He's gotta fuck something. He's telling goddamn Cruise.
Right.
It was
Get-
unnecessary.
Get him a hole.
I get that. That's like a Maverick like character trait. Like has sex with a woman. Yes, okay. Make
Yeah.
sure.
Check.
We got to make
We
sure
don't
the
want-
audience knows he's not gay. Okay. We got to make sure that box is
Absolutely.
checked.
Because
Yeah.
Top Gun, all right, because I feel like I'm with you on Maverick. It had an intention, and I feel like Top Gun had an intention too that, I don't know, I don't think it's a bad movie. I don't. I didn't care for it, but it's also, this is an example of why I'm not a movie guy, why I am a TV guy, why I like story. Like Dave, you're 100% right about the cinematography and shit like that. But like what attracts me generally, like over everything else, is story and character investment and things like that. That's why I struggle with movies
because they don't
really
have as
hard.
much time
There's
to
yeah, they
there's really
don't.
not.
That's just
drive
that's
that.
just
Yeah,
a
I
trapping of
understand
the art
that.
form.
I understand that.
So when it feels especially abbreviated and rushed.
Yeah.
And here, like, the only relationship I gave a shit about was Maverick and Goose.
Yeah. Right.
And
That's
that
the
and
one.
that was done
That's the
well.
one.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
You hit all the points, you get invested. Everything else didn't like it.
Agreed. And I think that the relationship between Maverick and Goose was the takeaway. I think that was the takeaway. And you're right. They did a much better job of developing that relationship, getting to the fucking point. The thing occurs, which I don't want to. I know everybody's probably seen it, but I would have thought you guys had seen it by now, so I don't want to spoil anything. But then that sets the tone for the rest of the movie.
Well,
That's good storytelling.
But
But
going to spoil it in an achievement. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh,
So if
okay.
you want to
Well,
go ahead and spoil it now,
Goose
it's fine.
dies, and it was a complete. It was just an accident, but of course Maverick holds himself responsible, and Goose has got a kid and a wife, and the kid
Meg Ryan.
comes back later.
Yeah, Meg Ryan.
For some reason.
Yeah, I looked at Nikki. I was like, Meg Ryan's in this movie.
Did she
She's
lose
like,
the
yeah.
bet?
And I was like, damn, she looks good.
She did look good in that movie. Holy monkey! Goodness.
You're in like Harry Met Sally territory.
Yeah,
too,
you
like,
are.
timeline wise.
And having
Yeah.
Rooster in the second one, like, and you know, that all good. Love the continuity there. But then, yeah, like the romance, I didn't appreciate it. It felt very strange.
Yeah.
Didn't need to
I didn't.
All right.
I expected a bigger rivalry between Maverick and Iceman,
Iceman.
and I didn't feel it.
I have notes about all of these things. So if you'd like for me to read the trivia,
Yeah.
go through
Well,
that
let
with
me
you.
go over a few.
Please.
Let me
Oh.
a few of the
please.
things first. Here are the things. So, okay, still sweatiest movie I've ever seen is still Cool Hand Luke. Still 100% sweatiest movie. This movie is pretty goddamn sweaty. Like, it is inordinately sweaty.
I mean, you're not referring to the beach scene.
Well, in the control
they're
room.
like
Yeah.
1950s fans, just
Yeah.
like, Lord, they're
I
in
know.
church.
I know.
It's in California. It's not Louisiana. It's what I was thinking when I was watching it. It's like you're not on the bayou, right? Well, I guess you're on the Indian Ocean, right?
Yeah,
I don't know what that's like.
not
But it
not
is hot.
that hot.
And
Well, I have heard though that it can get hot as fuck on the aircraft carriers.
Yeah.
but maybe not so much on the base.
Yeah,
where most of the movie
yeah, that's
takes place.
but then it feels like, I don't know, I feel like this would be like a bisexual championing movie because it is one of the most
80s?
homoerotically
Very
charged
homoerotic.
Oh,
movies.
sure.
Like I was just watching, like even the way the men interact, it's still it's strange, and even in their acting, they're all close talkers, and whenever they're talking, they look at each other's mouths, they meet eyes, and then they look. They talk.
Stop
and it's like
it,
every
Tyler.
One of them, every one of them. It's just like, yeah, it's eye contact. Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, like constantly, especially with Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer and Tom Cruise, they are mouth fucking watchers, man. And because when it goes from sweaty and then at the same time, I'm expecting it because they're flying in the air, and Goose is like, oh, he's coming hard. He's behind us. He's coming hard.
I know.
Next scene, the captain is like, give me butts. Give me butts. I want some butts. And then they're all sweaty, and then they're volleyball, and then they're all like crouching with towels in the steam room.
Yeah.
Dude, the watch check when they're playing volleyball and he's like flexing so hard when he looks at his watch.
I'll say this. I
You
want to say
think
this
it's for
about.
the female gaze, but that's not where it's landing, man.
I want to say this about the volleyball scene. I was underwhelmed by the volleyball scene, given all the fucking hype
Yeah.
that I heard about it. It was
Yeah.
like, it's so homoerotic, and it was like,
And the image
well,
was a shirt on.
Kind of is, I guess. It's fit dudes playing volleyball.
It was more
with their
about
shirts
showing
on.
off the fit
Their
dudes,
body.
but
Yeah.
the way
Yeah.
that they were
the
acting
shower
was a
scene
little
was
bit,
way more than the
Well,
volleyball game.
just the penetration part.
just the tip. It was all it was. Come on.
Do you think that was like trying to get women into the
Yes,
theater?
100%. 100%. That's what they were doing. Because
It's like
I
Cock
knew
Ring Ken. Like it just didn't land on the intended audience.
I knew several girls my age that went to
Magic
see
earring
that
Ken.
movie.
That's what
I knew plenty
Yeah.
of girls, 13, 14-year-old girls that went to see that movie. And it wasn't for the planes.
Right.
I promise.
Good casting for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. And I have notes about that as well. You cool if I go through that now? I didn't want to
I'm done.
leave you hanging there. The thing where you said, and then volleyball, and then you had me. You got me. My mouth was
It
open.
was sweaty. I never thought about how sweaty
It is
was,
sweaty.
but you're
It was
right.
very sweaty.
I mean, it doesn't have shit on Cool Hand Luke, but it's very fucking sweaty.
Cool Hand probably is the sweatiest.
It's sweaty as no, for sure.
All right, so I have notes about both movies, but most of my notes are about Top Gun, the original Top Gun.
Okay.
First of all, John Travolta was originally supposed to play Maverick.
Wow, I'm glad that did not happen.
I know,
Who
right?
was?
John
Travolta.
Who at the time
that would have been weird.
Although I would have liked to see that volleyball scene. I'm not saying he had a bad body or anything.
he'd have been wearing a
He
Speedo
was not-
probably.
Yeah. Oh God.
And plus, I just
Fucking
can't
banana
imagine him
hammock.
playing
Yeah.
a really awkward volleyball. you
John
know?
Travolta is too hairy to be in that volleyball scene.
He would have been dressed like Vincent Vega in Pulp Fiction. You
Yeah.
guys just come from a volleyball game?
Which was kind of
UC Santa Cruz Slugs.
yes. It was that was kind of his renaissance, right? But this was
yeah.
this was going to be his movie, and then they decided because at the time he had some kind of box office flops. I think that was around the time of like Look Who's Talking and those movies.
It's a good movie.
I think they decided to go elsewhere, but they hadn't landed on Tom Cruise yet. So others that were considered for this role, you can feel free to weigh in on your opinions on these.
I shall.
Patrick Swayze.
Okay.
I would have been okay with Patrick.
Better than
Swayze.
Tom
Little old,
Travolta.
right?
Better than
I would have
John
been okay with
Travolta.
him being Iceman.
He would have been a great.
Oh,
Iceman.
yes.
Now let me before I say anything about that though, I love Val Kilmer.
No, Val Kilmer does
Yeah,
it
yeah,
better.
yeah,
He
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
nailed
Yeah.
Iceman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in Maverick, I mean, the way
Yeah.
that scene, I feel like is one of the best scenes.
I have
in Maverick.
notes.
Yeah.
Nikki
I have
told me.
notes.
I'm
going to
curious.
bring that up. Okay, the next one, Emilio Estevez, who I mentioned earlier from
I could
Maximum
see him
Overdrive.
fitting
I
in.
could absolutely
Yeah.
see him in that.
How old was Patrick Swayze at the time? I feel like because
He wasn't.
He was
old.
he wasn't
He would've
old,
still been
but I mean,
pretty
he was
young.
like significantly older than Tom
That was
Cruise at
around the
time,
time
right?
of Dirty Dancing, so he probably would have been in his late 20s.
When did Red
early
Dawn come
30s?
out?
He just seems like an
84
older
or
guy.
He's
85.
always
Okay.
seemed like he's always old.
Yeah, he's just got. He had an
Yeah.
old kind of
Old
face.
soul.
Old soul.
He's like Sam Elliott. He's always
Yeah.
been old.
Christopher
He was
Lloyd.
born with that mustache. You
Seeing
know
Christopher
he was.
Lloyd in Clue
Even
was
in
like
Clue,
that's
it's
weird,
like-
man. He looks younger, but he also looks old. At the
You
same
went
time.
from grandpa to like uncle. Like that's as young as it gets.
Nick Cage,
Holy shit!
who at the time would have been Valley Girl Nick Cage, roughly.
Well, I want to see him as Maverick now.
Yeah.
like
I would.
Somebody's probably already made the fucking movie
Nick
over
Cage's
with
Goose singing "Great Balls of Fire."
Would have been a
That'd
good
been
pick.
fine.
Okay.
Good pick.
Yeah.
John Cusack, I think would have been a pretty good Maverick. He just doesn't
that would've
come
been even-
across.
He's the thing,
As
though.
cocky.
Like,
he's not. Yeah, he's not cocky asshole enough.
Right. You're not
yeah,
wrong.
that's true. The other thing is like he's pretty tall, right?
Very tall. John
didn't know
Cusack's
that.
like 6'3".
Good
yeah,
lord.
yeah. He
He's a
would
tall
not.
motherfucker.
He would not have. I think there's like a
Star Fox
certain
style, he would have to cut off his
limitation
knees.
to the
Fucking
height. You
no,
can
man.
be.
Tim Robbins was in Top Gun, and he's like 6'12". You know, that motherfucker's like 8 feet tall.
Well, that's true, but I think in reality there's like some sort of height cutoff
I think
because
you're
of
right.
like you can't
Yeah.
like when that ejection happens, that canopy like
You're
can't
gonna
be too
get
tall.
goosed. You're gonna get goosed.
Yeah.
Feel me?
Yeah,
Yeah. That's sad.
It's sad. Matthew Broderick.
Yeah.
Oh, that
okay.
wouldn't. No,
I could see that.
I don't think that would have worked.
Sean Penn.
I don't know about the lead. I don't know if that's Maverick. It would be cool to see him as like another.
He would have been a
fighter.
good like
Jester or Viper.
Jester.
Yeah,
Somebody,
yeah.
Michael J. Fox.
Man, he's not mean enough.
No,
agree.
he's not.
I agree.
Yeah.
Scott Baio. Maybe.
Throw Nicole Eggert in there too, and
As the love interest.
we got a deal.
I'm in. I'd buy that for $1. You actually made my thing scroll.
Sorry.
I don't know how that is. Oh, it was the mouse.
That's my horny energy.
I get it. And
It's the only way I could use the force.
That's the secret.
That's you don't
always horny.
deal with those fucking midi-chlorians.
No.
Just bang on it.
No, they count other
I
cells.
save all my chlorians.
And finally, Tom Hanks was considered.
Nah.
I don't see that
No,
either.
not.
Although seeing Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan in the movie together.
No, I don't think it would work.
Nah.
My next little tidbit, Val Kilmer and Tom Cruise really did not get along. And the reason is because Val Kilmer, taking this role very seriously, decided to try method acting.
Shit.
So he was in character all the time. And over time, that kind of grated at Tom Cruise, and they eventually stopped. They had a real dislike for one another by the time it was all over. Now, bygones are bygones. It's water under the bridge. They've apparently since, settled their differences, but they really were kind of rivals in the movie. And they even the actors had sort of split off into different camps, kind of like in the pro Tom,
Heels
pro
and faces.
Team Val.
Makes sense.
So that was neat. All of Maverick's stunt flying in the film was done by a guy named Scott Altman, who later went on to become an astronaut.
Oh. Nice.
The big song that wasn't Danger Zone, Take My Breath Away, performed by Berlin. Yes, Berlin performed this song. This was originally offered to the Motels, a band that recorded songs such as Only the Lonely, Remember Last Summer, and Remember the Nights. These are songs that none of you probably have ever heard. You've probably heard Only the Lonely. They were big at the time. They turned it down. Berlin ended up getting the song, but they insisted on doing it in this sort of melancholy way that it ultimately became. And because of that inspired more romantic scenes in the movie. And so the way the song was ultimately performed inspired the writers to create more of the romantic scenes. So effectively, in my opinion, Berlin is responsible for ruining Top Gun. Thanks, Berlin.
What
Well,
about
it's funny. That song was very, very popular.
Oh, yeah.
I remember hearing that song.
yeah.
Whatever easy listening, easy rock radio stations that my mom listened to when I was a kid, I heard that song a
Well,
lot.
that song
yeah.
charted. That song charted on the top 100. I think it broke into the top 5.
Yeah.
It was a
I can
huge,
totally see
huge
that.
hit.
Yeah.
Berlin didn't go on to do a whole lot more, but they made a lot of money off of that one. So, yes, Berlin ruined Top Gun.
how about Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez as Maverick and Goose?
Ooh.
Like Men at
You
Work
bring
style.
Charlie Sheen into
I'm
it,
with
it
you.
changes the dynamic a lot. Yeah.
Men at Work. 4 stars.
It was insane.
Wiz and Say says check it out, and not Land Down
NES
Under.
game.
No, check them out too.
Check that out,
Dave says
too.
4 stars. Check out Men at Work. Land Down Under.
Not that I have a problem with Kenny Loggins, but several other groups were approached to record the song Danger Zone. I win. Okay. We all know the song.
I do.
yeah.
From
Toto
Archer, but yes.
was approached with this.
Toto?
Africa.
Right.
It's the rains down.
Yeah. Kenny Loggins, I feel like, is a better choice.
Yeah.
They
I
were.
think so.
I like Toto fun.
They had disputes between the producers and the band's lawyers and all this stuff. So they said no.
Were you guys like pro Africa or something?
Next up for that was REO Speedwagon. Would have been a good choice.
I don't like REO.
I like REO Speedwagon.
I don't like them.
I'm having a stroke.
I know. I'm sorry. I don't think I've
Okay,
ever
I
told
think
you
it
that.
passed.
Gotta push through it.
I don't think I've ever told you that.
You
but-
chose now to tell me that.
It's so difficult.
They're
to
better in the
imagine-
Kelvin timeline, if I'm honest.
It's going to be hard for like any of these that you mentioned to be like, oh yeah, that'd be better than the iconic song from Kenny Loggins.
I know.
You
And
what
again,
mean?
I think they landed in the right place. No pun intended. But I'm thinking of these other bands and like how I would like to have heard their version. I don't know if it would have been better, but I like all these bands. So
was it going to be Highway to the Danger Zone regardless? It was
Yes,
just- okay,
the song
okay.
had been written,
Gotcha.
and I think
Okay.
Toto, bad choice. I feel like
No,
Toto wouldn't have had the same energy. REO Speedwagon might have gotten there. The next one, they didn't do it because they weren't given the opportunity to contribute any more of their songs to the soundtrack. So they wanted to have like sort of the ability to do all the music.
Gotcha.
And since they were only given one, they were like, nah, we're out. So next up was Bryan Adams, which I think would have been
I like
a
that.
really good choice.
No, I think Bryan Adams could have pulled that
He
off.
could have pulled it off. But he refused to be involved with the film due to its supposed glorification of war. So his stance was,
He was a lover, not a
I don't want to
fighter.
be a part of that. So ultimately, they landed on Kenny Loggins. And that's okay because it's a great song.
It works, yeah.
It's a great
It
song.
works.
Still gets me. Dun, 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 dun.
There's a song in Top Gun that every time it would play, it was like dun 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 dun. And I'm like, Ken's theme from Street Fighter. Fuck. Fuck. Capcom stole Ken's theme from fucking Top Gun. Yeah, I'll play it side by side for you. No, it's not that one. It's dun. Did you not hear me? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun.
I don't know. I guess I don't remember that. It's
I'll
been a
play it.
long time since I watched
I
the
was
movie,
so like, the movie was over, and I was like, okay, Nikki, I got to play you Kid's theme from Street Fighter 2. It sounds a lot like the song we just heard in the movie, doesn't it? And
she was like, yes,
I'm-
dear.
yeah.
It'd be
like
best
it.
if you see me beat Street Fighter as Ken. real quick, Or just sit down.
What's the meme where the guy at the basketball game?
Oh, yeah. He's like got his arm around
Right, like, yeah, like, right.
It's like doing this.
Yeah.
Sunglasses on the back of your head. Four fingers in your
that's
face.
what
That's how you get him out of your way.
It was that.
My last fact about Top Gun from 1986 is stunt pilot Art Scholl was tragically killed during the film's shoot at the age of 54. His Pitts S2 camera plane failed to revert from a flat spin and nosedived into the Pacific Ocean.
Good shit.
His plane and body were sadly never recovered. The last words he spoke over the jet's radio were, "I have a problem. I have a real problem." And he was never heard from again.
That is fucking
So that
terrible.
film was dedicated to him, which I think is nice. So yeah, that's awful. That was the only tragedy they had, the only loss of life that they had, but that was bad.
Yeah.
It was real bad. And then, okay, so I've got just a couple of things to say about Top Gun Maverick. A lot of the facts about this movie are the same as the facts about the original because so much of it was so
Real
similar.
similar movie.
You know, they had a huge amount of money paid to use airplanes and more aircraft carriers and, you know, technology that whatever is unique to the military. Kelly McGillis and Meg Ryan were not asked to be in this movie. Their reasoning being that, well, we're moving forward with new story and not trying to spend too much time in the past, even though a third of that movie was about Goose, the guy who died in the movie.
Yeah, and also
before.
like
I think they just didn't like the way those two looked
Mm-hmm.
and decided, well, we're not going to have them in there because they're not hot enough for
Right.
Tom Cruise.
It's also
so
like
they went with Jennifer Connelly,
crazy
which is fine.
bullshit. Yeah, totally fine. Good with this.
Yes.
Great decision. Support it. But it's also wild where it's like, well, we don't want to like go back to like the old well. And then it's like they're in Maverick, they're in the bar, and it's like all these fucking boomer tunes that they're listening to, and it's like, what is happening?
And then
crazy.
Goose's son, Rooster, he comes in and he plays Great Balls of Fire while literally cosplaying as his dad.
Yeah.
I mean, he's wearing the clothes and the sunglasses. I mean, it's bad enough that he had the
He's got the
mustache.
same mustache.
Get out of the past,
Yeah,
man.
that's a
But we don't want to focus on the
that's
past.
a Navy thing.
not doing
They're all
that.
about those mustaches.
Yeah, they are.
They're-
Cookie dusters,
It
as
doesn't-
Ned Flanders would call
It
them.
doesn't get in the way of the mask. That's why they can't have beards, but they can have the mustache
Yeah.
because the mask won't.
Because it
won't
looks
fuck with
so
the
much
seal.
more manly.
I think they were
to have
concerned
facial
that
hair.
We wouldn't know that he was Goose's son unless he looked exactly the fuck like him.
I
Man,
mean,
Miles Teller
down to the
Exactly, because Nikki was like, they good casting. It was like, yeah, it looks. I mean, I guess he looks like the guy in the
Is
movie.
that CGI? Is it just a green man that they put Anthony Edwards on top of?
They Princess Leia. Shit.
so Val Kilmer
Val Kilmer.
is incapable of speech. He is not able to talk. And he has speaking lines in this movie. Very few speaking lines because his character in the movie is also afflicted with, I believe it's cancer of the throat that has caused him to lose his voice.
I don't know what Val Kilmer character was sweatier, Iceman or Doc Holliday. And Doc Holliday had tuberculosis.
Well, Doc
It might
Holliday
have
had
been-
tuberculosis.
It might have
and
been
was
Doc Holliday. Though.
Also in Tombstone, Arizona.
Yeah. So to get most of the communication that he does in the movie with Tom Cruise is on a computer screen where he types out what he wants to say.
Mm-hmm.
He actually speaks, and to me, it's a very emotional moment because I really, really love Val Kilmer, and I really hate what's happened to him because I always thought he was such a good actor. He just always had my attention, even in Batman. I promise.
Yeah, that was the one miss. I feel like.
Batman Forever was the first Batman film I saw.
Man,
so he was
like,
my Batman for
Every
a long
other
I liked
Val
him.
Kilmer movie that I've seen, I've liked him in.
Yeah. So, but what they did was they found recordings from other old movies of him saying the words that he says.
What? I didn't know that.
And used AI to combine them together and overdub him actually
I
saying
didn't know that.
it.
That's wild.
And
I remember reading about
that.
that.
Is fucking nuts because until I just read this today,
Yeah, I
I
never
had
would've
no
guessed.
clue, and they did such a fantastic job of that. So they were able to give him a voice for the first time in ever, a long time, and it was really neat to see that happen. Also because I like the characters' relationship, I like how Iceman becomes his commanding officer because Maverick just ain't coming out of the cockpit. You know, he wants to keep. He's pulling a.
He's not by the book. You can't rouse in the rings if you're not by the book.
So I like that. And then the last fact I have about Top Gun Maverick, and then we can talk about the game if you want, is that John Hamm is in this movie, which shouldn't surprise anyone since he's in fucking everything.
I like John Hamm though.
Didn't say I didn't like John Hamm.
I feel like
I said he's in fucking everything.
is
He's in
fucking everything.
fucking everything. He is the new Sam Jackson. He is this generation's
He's a
Samuel
good
L.
asshole.
Jackson.
He plays a really,
really
good
does.
asshole.
He can play that well.
I kind of felt like he was wasted in Maverick. I liked that he was in it, but I also kind of felt like he was
Yeah.
not in it enough. Like his presence wasn't like, because they had too many villains in Maverick where it's like, we got to get the old one. And then like, they were just.
I almost
it's like,
expected
pick the
every
lane.
time John Hamm would come on screen that they would play bum bum bum, like a
I
literal
want butts.
musical fanfare of him coming in. Dun dun dun. Uh-oh. The Dean is here.
What kind of football is this?
Maverick, you're on double secret probation.
So, that's my long-winded facts about the movies.
I like the facts.
No, that was good. I learned a lot.
Big thing for me. Big movie for my
Kamala,
life.
big.
Kamala, big life movie
means orgasm.
moment. Okay. Appropriate.
We want to talk about the Nintendo Entertainment System game Top Gun.
You mean the
Yes.
one that Konami developed and published in 1986? That one?
No,
Yeah.
not that one.
Oh, then I am woefully unprepared.
Did I play the wrong one?
Oh, it was 97 or 87.
Oh, that is the
that's
right
why.
game.
That's
Got
why.
it.
Sorry, that was my
Okay.
bad. 1987.
Sure, we could talk about it. There's not a whole lot to
It
say.
won't take long.
No, it won't.
It opens like the movie opens, which is
I
cool.
love the opening.
Great.
I love it.
As we discussed earlier, a very reasonable facsimile of the soundtrack music And this is on an NES. So
I even like how it
does
like
sound
whites out at the beginning and then
Yeah.
kind of fades in.
Although I will say the typeface makes it seem like it's broken. Because when I turned it on, my first thing I thought was,
I thought that
is my
too.
NES dirty? Do I need
Yeah,
to like,
yeah.
do I need to clean
got the
this?
same thing,
'Cause
yeah.
Did I get a
there's that-
shitty ROM?
Yeah, there's that line running through all the text. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh no, that's what it's supposed to be. And then Henry saw it and he was like, what's wrong with the words? I'm like, okay, cool. It's not just me.
no, not just
this
you.
is not right.
But yeah, I thought the music was good. It's got the honestly, it's a great use of the sound on the
Yeah.
system. It's
Well, that's what I was telling Ian earlier. Is like the version of the music that you hear is like instantly recognizable. You know,
Yeah.
like I mean, it's
And-
really good.
yeah, and pretty dynamic too, as far as like NES game goes too. It's not flat; it's got some dimension to it.
Yeah.
I feel like they did a really good job. It is a port of an arcade game. It's a
Right.
port of the Versus
I did not
Nintendo
realize
Top Gun. So like they had those Versus cabinets.
Yeah.
Konami.
I played that one a lot, which is that's the reason I bought this, was because I wanted that arcade experience right in my home.
And I never played the arcade version, so
I never
I
did
don't
either.
know exactly how it compares. But I found a video on YouTube and watched someone playing the arcade machine, and I mean, I feel like it seemed like they ported it pretty well. I don't
They
know
did.
what you would
Yeah.
say.
They did. The graphics, of course, were scaled
Yeah,
back.
and the
for the
frame
system.
rates a lot.
Frame rates different. Playing it in the arcade was like, did you ever play Afterburner?
Yeah.
That I loved games like that because
Yeah.
I love being surrounded and having
Yeah.
the
And that-
yoke and
Yeah.
the fucking missile buttons and shit. It was like that, and it was great. It was a great game. But yeah, I do think, despite the technological limitations, I think this was a great port of that game. It didn't have the same atmosphere because it wasn't in a cabinet.
Right,
And it didn't
right.
have a
Using a
yoke.
controller
You're
and
using a
stuff.
controller, but otherwise, yeah, it was fine. Good time. I spent many hours playing this one.
Yeah, you and me both. This was one of the maybe like 7 or 8 NES games that I owned.
I had like 4,
and I didn't have
Yeah.
like any of the real good ones either. You know, like I had Karate Champ.
yeah.
Karate Champ, that's a good one.
That is a
I
good
mean,
one.
it's not bad. It's not bad, but it's
I had
like
that.
of the fighting games, it's
I think we might have had
mean,
the
it's not
same
bad.
games.
You, don't
although
have, you
did
didn't have a lot of fighting to choose from on the NES.
That is,
that's
though.
true.
You really
yeah.
did not.
I did have Wizards and Warriors.
Not a fan of that one. I know that one's got its fans for sure.
I liked it.
They're
but
diehards. But
I had nightmares about that music in that game.
I'm so glad
It
to hear you say
sticks
that.
in your head and it never wants to leave. It's tough to get it out of there, but yeah.
So yeah, I played this game a shitload because I didn't
Same.
have a lot
I
of
did
games
too.
to play, and I liked it. It was fun, but man, it was fucking hard. This game was so goddamn
It
hard.
really was.
Mostly because of the landing, the carrier
Man,
landing.
the
I know
infamous landing on the aircraft
yeah.
carrier.
Here's the thing, I only made it. I think I only made it to the 4th level.
Jesus
Remind
Christ,
me,
man.
the
I was
4th
saying,
level.
You just blew my mind.
The 4th level is the desert.
No,
right?
it's the night mission.
It's the
It's the yeah. Okay. The 3rd mission is the desert, right?
I think so.
Okay, and then the 2nd mission is over the ocean, and you're
Right.
shooting at boats or
Yeah.
ships.
Right.
So I made it. I think I made it to the 4th mission like once. I only made it to the 3rd mission, the desert mission, maybe like 5 or 6 times. Out of all of the
And
hours
this is
that
the
I fucking
time.
put
This
into
is
this game.
throughout the time you owned
Yeah,
and actively
I played it a lot.
this game. Yeah.
I got really good at like the first and second
First and
missions.
second one, same. Yeah.
Man, that
Man,
first
third
mission-
mission would fuck you up instantly.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's
That first mission is so easy.
Yeah,
and it's a training mission. But
just can you land?
But right,
That's-
pretty much. And it's so annoying when it's like I got to the point playing this. I like this game a lot. I played it for over the hour I usually allot myself, but I got so tired of playing the first mission because
Yeah, you don't get to continue.
It's easy to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get 3 lives, 0
That's it.
continues. That's
Yeah.
how this
Man,
fucking game
if-
rolls.
If they would have put a fucking password system on this goddamn
That would have
game,
been nice.
Jesus, it would have been great.
Yeah. I remember, I know I've told this story on the show before. You brought up landing on the aircraft carrier being like the hardest thing in the game. I remember being at a birthday party when I was probably 7 years old. We were playing Super Mario Brothers 1 in the birthday boy's bedroom.
Oh, I remember this. Yes, I
And
know where you're going with this.
The birthday boy's dad came in and was like, let's hook that up to the TV.
Yeah.
And we're all like, whoa, this is fucking insane. You plug the NES
You mean the one in the living room?
big TV?
Wait, the adults want to play games?
And that's exactly what they wanted to do. They wanted to play Top Gun. And so then it was a bunch of adults trying to land the plane. And not a single one of them did it. And but I still was just blown away. I was like, I can't believe a Nintendo is hooked up to.
Well, I got
That is so cool.
I'm really curious because I didn't know that you also owned this game.
I didn't remember that I owned it until I booted up the ROM and
you're
started
like,
playing. I'm like, oh my God.
shit came flooding
I
back.
played this fucking a lot.
Yeah.
And I got to the point where I could land on the aircraft carrier without even thinking about it now.
I never got to the point where I could do it without thinking about it, but I definitely got pretty good at it. Like I could land the aircraft carrier at least 50% of the time.
So in the game, they put you in the reasonable facsimile of an F-15 Tomcat or F-14 Tomcat.
First person view.
First person view. You get an
Cruise
altimeter,
and
you
Katie
get a
Holmes?
speedometer, you get the little radar that shows whether you're level or
altimeter and a speedometer.
Yeah,
over there.
it's pretty neat. I mean, it's pretty cool.
A health bar, just like in a real F-14.
Just like in a real F-14. Yeah, it was pretty neat. The way that they present it. Again, considering this is the NES and they're limited technology, they're limited with what they could do.
Yeah.
And then you are first person flying this thing. You've got enemy aircraft that fly in front of you. They come at you directly. They shoot missiles at you. And then, as John was leading into, you have to land at the end of the mission onto the deck of an aircraft carrier.
So there's two other like kind of things I feel like have to be mentioned. You have a radar, and that radar will show you the planes that are coming at you or the planes that are even coming behind you.
That's where I learned how to read a game radar.
Yes.
Was Top Gun.
The thing is, like most of the time when you see a plane coming up from behind you, it will pass in front of you, and you'll get a nice clean shot at it. And
which
sometimes
is crazy that they would do that.
I know. Well, and sometimes they don't. And sometimes they stay behind you, and this thing will come up on your radar where it's the back of your plane, essentially.
Which Henry thought was hilarious.
And you're trying to avoid... it is. But you're trying to avoid them getting missile lock on you.
You have to like wave back and forth and dive and
it's just right and left.
Yeah.
Like there's no dead. It's just like hard to the right, hard to the left, and you're done. That's it. But
what's funny is I reflexively knew what to do.
Yeah.
Like
of course
from playing this so long, so many hours, I immediately went left, right,
Dude,
straight. We're clear.
It's so funny though, because I let my kids play this game, and my 8-year-old was like, I couldn't get him to understand that it's like just hold and press it. He kept like this way, this way, this way, this way, and then he'd get shot. And I was just like, no, you just gotta like hammer that thing hard this way and then hammer it back the other way, and you'll be fine. And like it took me a minute to get him to get that.
Right.
Like once he got it, he was just like everybody else. Like, oh yeah, just do that.
That's how you do it. Every time.
Every time. No matter, and it doesn't matter what mission, what plane's behind you. Like that's just how you do it. The other thing is the refueling.
Yep.
I also got I got really good at the refueling. I could nail that every time, but it was difficult to learn.
Yeah.
Like it was
Soft
hard
touch.
to get down. Yeah. You got to be
And
real.
it's an NES, so there's not a lot of soft touch.
No.
It's hard to be subtle with an NES controller.
But like I thought that was
Just
cool.
like I was when I was 13.
I thought it was cool that it had all of those different. It's not a like super complex game. It's not a long game, but
If you're
I
good
like
at it.
that it. If you're good at it. But I like that it had all of those different elements included in the game. I thought that
for
was
sure.
really cool.
I loved it. It was a fun game, and I remembered how much I loved it when I played it, and it didn't disappoint. It was fun again.
Yeah.
To sit down and play it again and be like, yeah, this is exactly the way I remember it, and it's still kind of impressive.
And it's not a dodging the missiles, the inbound missiles can be kind of tricky.
I think that's the hardest part.
It is hard because it's not a free, like, you're not just completely free.
Right.
You're locked in. It's hard to explain. Like, how would you even explain it? Like,
it's like you're on a grid kind of, and it's like what really makes it difficult is the frame rate, because it is like there's like
1, 2, 3 missile.
And it's like, oh no,
it's like far, not far, you're dead.
You're dead. Yeah, the screen is red. Missiles in the center of the screen. You can shoot them down, which is like
That's what
It's
I
hard,
always
but
did.
you can
but
do it.
that's what
Yeah.
I would have to do,
Yeah.
because it's like when they shoot 3 missiles at you, it's like
When the fucking boats,
no shit.
God damn, like they don't play.
No, they don't. I got to the aircraft carrier that you're supposed to destroy at the end of mission 2.
Yeah.
That's as far as I got. And then that's when they start like, here's 3 missiles, here's 3 missiles, here's 3 missiles. And it's like, I couldn't at that point.
Dude,
The missiles would get me every time. And I
But
just got tired of playing
that
the first
was
level.
part of the arcade game, and which did have excellent controls, excellent graphics, and excellent response time.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of that was like, we're going to give you the same game with shitty controls.
Yeah.
And less frame rate.
Yeah,
So
I think the frame rate.
a lot of it was lost.
Having
in
double the
translation.
frames, ooh, that would have been
That would have made
real nice.
That would
Clark.
have made shooting down those inbound missiles a lot easier.
Yeah.
a lot
Agreed.
easier.
I got with the aircraft carrier landing sequence or something I want to talk about, and that is as you're trying to land it.
Pull
there
up.
are
Pull
instructions
up.
that are flashing
Pull up.
on your radar
Slow.
screen
Slow
that
down.
are fucking worthless and the worst. I fucking hate that shit. What I did was looked up online, how do I land the plane? And then some guy was like, keep the altitude between this, keep the speed between this. And it's like,
Yeah.
cool, I'm done. And that's what I did every time, was like, check the speed, check the altitude. Am I good? Am I good? Okay, and land it.
Now you can
And that's
still
how you
get it.
actually land a real
plane.
fighter jet.
You mean they're not like, pull left,
Nope.
pull up.
You just have to know what to do.
Yeah.
And then once you know that, depending on the weather, you can do it.
Was sort of my methodology. I remember I was able, so I had my kids play it just so they could kind of experience like, hey, this is how it was. You know, this shit was hard. I had them play it. They both liked it. My younger son played it for a while. I was really surprised. But like, of course, you know, could not land the plane, and I get that because it took me a long time to like get it down to where I could even do it half
Also
the time.
requires a soft touch.
Yeah, it does. And like I remember like the first time it came up, I was like, oh yeah, I just don't do anything for like the first half of the sequence.
It
Like
is, yeah.
I literally just like I might tap it right or left to like get it lined up, but outside of that, I'm just like, no, you just let it
And
ride,
it's
man.
funny, man, because like the scene like leading up to where it's landing,
It
where
looks like you're gonna splash.
and
yeah.
Henry was like, what happened? And it's like, you just gotta let it cook.
exactly.
It's gonna be a few seconds before we can play the game.
Let it simmer.
Yeah. And then when you land, you get this little cut scene of the plane either landing on the aircraft carrier or plummeting into
Splashing
the
into
ocean.
the water.
And what's funny is they really build tension on that, because it's like you don't know if you did it right or not until you see it. And it's like, okay, we'll see how we did.
The graphic of the plane crashing into the water from like this huge distance away. You know, they're a mile away. And you can see the silhouette of the aircraft carrier, and then your little black dot just goes bloop.
Cartoonishly.
Yeah.
Just gonzo nose right into the water in front of it.
Failed. But that covers most of the bullet points of that game. There's not a whole lot.
There's a second one.
There is. I didn't know it
Really?
until
Oh, shit, I didn't
after
know
we
that.
decided to play this.
No, I didn't either.
And I was like, well, I don't want to do it. Like, I don't want to. We're doing 2 movies, and I don't
a
want to do 2
game,
movies
yeah.
and 2 games. But yeah, there's a second one. It looks better.
Yep.
Looks nicer.
Is it
You
also
go
NES?
upside down.
I think
It is.
Okay.
The cartridge looks dumb because where Konami is small and Top Gun is big on the first one, they just invert that for Mission 2, where Konami is really big and Top Gun is really small.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who had better brand recognition when the second game came out.
I'm gonna say possibly Konami.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
Let's see. When did the second one come out?
I don't know. I didn't know there was one.
Yeah, I
until
didn't
just
either.
Now.
1990.
It would have been 4 years later.
4 years.
Might have had something to do with it. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
About the time it was coming out on VHS.
Konami's like, we got them turtles, man.
Man,
We got
that
them
wait
turtles.
time
They know
was-
us. They don't know
Wait
Top
time
Gun.
was wicked back then, man.
Yeah, no shit.
I'm glad you guys like stuff like this. I just can't wrap my head around like flight sim stuff.
It's generally
Like at
not
all.
my cup of tea, but
like-
I do. I don't necessarily care for like a real like a flight simulator type game where you're literally having to fly a jumbo jet or a whatever.
Yeah,
but I do like
dude,
actiony flight
Space
games,
combat,
space
flight sim.
They've
That's my shit right there.
In Microsoft Flight Sim, they have the SR-72, the Dark Star,
You're shitting me.
that Maverick is flying at the beginning of Maverick when he's trying to get
that I
Mach
would
10.
love to try.
And there's an achievement where if you get Mach 10 in the
in the Dark Star.
Yeah. So Henry was doing it. Like he started watching Maverick with us. And then this is typical. This is just him. 30 minutes into
he
it.
nopes out.
He
Yeah.
nopes out and he's like, and I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. What I need to show him is like, here are all the plane scenes from Maverick, and then he would sit and watch all of that, you
Right.
know. But it's like Jennifer Connelly in the bar, da 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 da. They're singing.
Yeah, I don't
and
care
he's
about
like,
that. No.
Nope,
Yeah.
nope. These aren't planes at all.
He needs to watch the end of
Yeah.
Maverick because he'd be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this is awesome."
And then so like later that day, he's like, "Dad, come here." I'm like, "Okay, what?" He was like, "I want to show you something." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Look." And yeah, man, he's in the Dark Star and he switches it to third person mode. And this dude's in fucking space, it looks like.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like it's all, you can see the heat on it. It's like all orange.
Oh wow,
So-
that sounds cool.
Yeah.
I
I have to try that.
He got it to Mach 9.6.
Oh,
I didn't do a lot of really cool stuff when I was a kid, but one of the cool things that I did get to do is I got to go to Eglin Air Force Base in Florida, and I got to walk right up to and touch an actual SR-71 Blackbird.
Blackbird. X-Men. Did
And
the X-Men pop out?
They should have. But it
Blue's a
was
vampire.
super cool.
Have you ever seen the movie Space Cowboys?
Fuck yes, I have.
God.
And dude,
like
that
Space
is no
Cowboys.
shit.
That is not a joke.
is
tell
no
him,
shit.
Tell him.
So in the movie, Tommy Lee Jones he's an SR-71. He's a former SR-71 pilot, test pilot, and he talks about how amazing the plane is. But he says it's meant to fly. It's not meant to be on the ground. When it's on the ground, it literally leaks fuel. Like the and he's like, I get it. When that one that they had on display there were seams between the tiles. On the outside of the plane. And the reason for that is it goes so fucking fast. And here's the other thing. The friction that high up in the out there's not a lot of density to the air, but still, despite that, the friction is so high, it's going so goddamn fast that the material actually expands and seals up.
Shit.
So it is designed to run at these super high speeds. If they had built it without the seams, they would
crunch up.
overdevelop. They would overlap, and the plane would fucking
So
explode.
basically, that plane can basically hold enough fuel at idle and at takeoff to get it in the air. Then they fuel
Then they
it up
refuel it.
again in the air, and then they fire the thrusters, and that fucker just seals itself up and goes, Mach 5 or whatever the fuck it is.
Like
I don't know.
it literally can't. It's not designed to run anything. It's got two speeds, real fucking fast and on the ground. And it was really awesome to actually see one because I'd read a lot about it too. Like this is, they actually have they're actually making an SR-72 supposedly. That's I've seen You know, where people are like, say they've spotted it in like some Air Force videos
over
and
the
stuff.
desert.
I've seen a lot of YouTube shorts. I can tell you, John, it does exist.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I've
That's
seen a
good to
lot of
know.
YouTube shorts.
But like, I understand like why they got rid of it and everything. But like, this is a plane that literally, like, I think it was North Korea, fucking shot several missiles at it, and they're like, it doesn't have any defense systems.
It's just
It has
fast.
it's a
Yeah, you don't need
reconnaissance
to.
plane. It doesn't have fucking missiles or flares or chaff or anything. It's just speed, just pure speed. They detected the missile lock and they pointed that bitch in the other direction and just outran it. You know, like,
I believe it.
Like the missile, they went up so high that the missiles couldn't go that high anymore, and they just fell back to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
It was fucking crazy.
Well, I think we're probably in a good place. You want to go down the list, like at the point where we're at.
Yeah, we said if you compare your experience of this game like a movie,
Top Gun. I choose Top Gun.
Top Gun.
Yeah, I tend to not do that with the ones that are based on movies.
We say good things, we said
Solid
bad
choice.
things. Buy, rent, or birthday.
This was an obvious buy for me. I bought it.
Yeah, I didn't buy it myself. I think it was probably a birthday gift.
You know what?
honestly.
Probably for me too. Actually, it was birthday, but I would have bought it.
Yeah, same.
The grand scope of NES games, or Dave, buy, rent, birthday. Just a buy.
I would buy it. I mean, at the time I wouldn't, because I knew so many people who owned it that I wouldn't need to. Like,
Borrow, buy, rent, birthday, or borrow.
Ooh, good one.
borrow's an easy one because I mean, like, there were so many kids I knew who owned Top Gun.
Everyone
I mean, it was
had
like
this one, yeah.
they got Top Gun, they got Castlevania, they got the Mario Brothers. Like, those are like,
And Duck Hunt. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, like, those are like, you can pretty much bet they're gonna have those games.
Let's see. In the grand scope of the NES library, where would you put it? Top 100, bottom 100?
I'd say this again without a lot of NES experience. I'd say this has to have a place in the top 100 for me.
I agree.
It's almost a necessary genre that probably doesn't get a lot of love from the overall catalog.
Yeah, I don't know what else. Honestly, I don't know.
I want to say there was
Right,
Afterburner.
yeah, I was gonna say,
I
like,
want to say there was an Afterburner game, but I don't know if I ever played it. But I'd say just from the brand recognition alone and the fact that it's a pretty good game, it should be in the top 100 for sure.
agreed.
Yeah, I'm with that.
You have any achievements?
I have a few.
What you got?
Please go on.
All right. My first achievement is you shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. and to get that, you shoot down 30 planes from behind.
Nice.
My second achievement is your kind of love drives a man insane. And to get that, you shoot down 10 incoming missiles. My third achievement is you broke my will, but what a thrill. Land successfully on the aircraft carrier 5 times.
5 times.
5 times. My final achievement, goodness gracious, great balls of fire, crash into the ocean, trying to land on the aircraft carrier. If you haven't seen the movie, then none of that made any fucking sense. Dave?
I've got a couple. The first of which is titled Goose Game. In order to unlock titled Goose Game, lose a player
Clever
over the
girl.
ocean.
Nice.
Should have ended on that one. Actually.
Nice.
Next achievement is I'm on a boat. In order to unlock, I'm on a boat. Either land the plane on the aircraft carrier or win a Konami run tournament that takes place on an aircraft carrier, which is something that they did.
You're shitting me.
Not shitting
We have an email from Brad from Arizona that outlines this, and I will cover that shortly.
Wow.
Good. That is great. I want to make sure we got to that because it's really fucking wild. It really is wild.
Yeah.
Next achievement is we like sports and we don't care who knows. And that is that after you land the plane on the aircraft carrier, you play beach volleyball with some of your closest buds. And that's it. Those are my achievements.
Tyler?
My first one is yes, fuck you, Dad. I knew I could do it. Fuck you, Miss Hamlin, fucking failing me at math. Fuck you, I landed the goddamn plane. You unlock that by landing the plane just once. And my second one is, fuck yes, Daddy. Oh, you're gonna make me refuel. Successfully refuel once.
Way ahead of you. Noting the timestamp.
I'm gonna figure out how to add it as like a sound effect on YouTube streams.
This will happen.
That's all I got.
Awesome.
Bravo, sir.
Thank you.
John, do you have any?
No, I
Okay.
don't.
No, I just wanted to.
I don't. No.
Not trying to put you on the spot. Just didn't want to exclude you.
I'm just happy to be here.
We have an email, once again, thanks to Brad from Arizona. Sent us some clippings from around the time this game came out.
Coupons.
Coupons.
About, and I will read the email real quick. Hi all, assuming you actually do Top Gun for the NES, here's what I could find. There wasn't much because Top Gun predates GamePro and EGM starting. There are perks to knowing a spoiled kid, and Adam from my kindergarten class was my spoiled kid friend. I had around 10 NES games. He probably had 35.
Damn.
Top Gun was one of them. The main thing he liked about the game was how good the intro music is. It really is an excellent NES rendition of the main theme.
Damn right.
Damn right. The last time I hung out with Adam for any significant amount of time was when we were almost 13 and I stayed over at his house. His mother read to him from the novelization of the Warren Beatty Dick Tracy movie before bedtime. Let's let that sink in for just a moment.
I need a minute to process that.
As if the movie starring Warren Beatty as Dick Tracy wasn't bad enough.
Yeah.
This kid's mom read to him before bedtime from the novelization of this horribly bad movie.
Oh, are you trying to summon Melissa? Me bashing Top Gun and now bashing Dick Tracy?
There's a Dick Tracy game.
Oh.
I've never seen the Dick Tracy movie.
Oh boy.
haven't
Oh boy. It's not good.
Melissa and her brother were fucking obsessed with it. They loved it. I bought her like the Dick Tracy like lunch bag off eBay that like she always wanted.
We could we could consider it. We could consider
I watched it when I was a kid and I didn't like it.
All right, so continue. Brad continues. She acted out the gangster voices and everything. So good mom. Good mom.
Good mom.
That is, yeah, that's pro.
It's kind of sweet in hindsight, but it's also hilarious.
It is hilarious.
It is hilarious. This is from the 1989 Buyer's Guide in the November-December issue of Video Games and Computer Entertainment. The scores are out of 5. The first article he posts in the email, Konami contest names, quote-unquote, Top Gun. On Saturday, May 7th, among the vintage and modern-day planes of the USS Intrepid's hangar deck, 4 contestants chosen from among hundreds of entries faced the final dogfights of the Top Gun video game shootout. Konami, the makers of Top Gun, were also the sponsors of the national contest. Sent into battle with words of encouragement from Emil Heidelkamp, the vice president of Konami's consumer division, and cheered on by family and friends, the 4 contestants launched their F-14 fighters into combat. When the dust cleared, all 4 video pilots had performed admirably, but only one proved worthy of the title Top Gun. Devin Devil.
Ice Cube?
Now you just blew my whole delivery. Devin Devil White of Minneapolis, Minnesota. After 3 rounds, Devil had outflown, outshot, and outscored the others. For his outstanding performance, Devin Devil White received the first place prize of $5,000.
Damn.
It's a lot of money. I searched out Devin Devil White on the internet.
And we got him here on the show. Let's patch him in.
He is here. No, I couldn't find him. He either changed his name or he doesn't have a social media presence. He also might be dead. I don't know. Couldn't find any information about Devin, but he was named Top Gun out in that contest.
Some say he never made it off of it.
Sometimes he was given the $5,000, but he never got
Put him
to
in a plane.
spend it.
Put him in a plane. Send him over to Korea.
Wasn't that long ago?
From issue 1 of Nintendo Power, Konami had a Top Gun score contest, and Devin Devil White of Minneapolis won the $5,000. I wish they had posted the score so you all could compare your performance to theirs, but everyone knows the real final boss of this game was landing the plane. That was from Brad.
You guys remember when Konami kidnapped a whole bunch of kids and under the guise of a contest and then sent them to war in a foreign country?
Made him fight an aircraft carrier.
So, according to Brad, the contest was apparently a really big deal because Electronic Game Player magazine also covered it. It's pretty cool that they arranged to put the contestants on the deck of the USS Intrepid for the contest. Nintendo Power didn't feel the need to mention this, which is weird because that's the kind of important part. Did you ever take a film picture of a TV screen and send it in for a contest? I sure didn't, he says. I did not.
I took a photo of a Sonic the Hedgehog a friend and I made out of Legos. That's about as
Nice.
Sent it in the Game Pro. That's about as close as we got to that.
Well, that is what Brad had to say about Top Gun. Thanks for all that good information.
So I
Brad?
didn't realize this, but I don't know if it were still a functional, like, out there doing shit aircraft carrier at the time, because this would have been, what, like 1987 or so?
Yeah.
But the USS Intrepid, the aircraft carrier, is a museum in New York City. If you ever go to New York City,
Get a rope.
if you ever go to New York, you can actually tour it. And on the deck of the USS Intrepid, you will find one SR-71 Blackbird and one F-14 Tomcat. I did not get to go on it, but I walked past it, and I could see the plane sitting on the deck. It was really cool.
I've always wanted to see an aircraft carrier in real life.
It's one of the smaller ones. It was a diesel aircraft carrier, so it wasn't like the big Nimitz-class nuclear carriers, but it's still, like when you're standing beside it, you're like, God damn, that thing's huge.
How could I not land on this?
Such a huge target.
What do you guys think Flopsy has to say about this game?
Nothing.
Flopsy Jr., courtesy of Big Dick Pie Baker, Chris Vaughn.
Oh.
There's a Flopsy Jr.?
There's a Flopsy Jr.
No shit.
I would say...
Is it the same people who wrote it?
I think...
We'll go with yes for now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Probably.
No, they did the ratings
We'll find
the
out in a
same, right?
second. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to say this was common.
Mm-hmm.
3.5 stars.
Common, 3.5 stars.
Yeah.
What do you think, Tyler?
Very common. 3 stars.
Very common, 3 stars. Mr. John Turley.
I'm going to say common 4 stars.
Common, 4 stars. According to Flopsy Jr., a.k.a. the Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the NES Library, 1985 to 1995. Feels weird as fuck coming out of my mouth.
How hard is that for
a
you
tuna
to
fish
say?
sandwich. By Pat Contry, courtesy of
Fish Popkin.
also feels weird to not say Monster Mold Mike.
Shadowy
Big
benefactor.
Dick Pie Baker, Chris Vaughn.
They're both dick reference names.
Of course. It's the Tadpog way.
Like you do.
Top Gun. Availability is very common.
Nice.
3.5 stars.
Got it.
I got the
Split
stars.
difference. Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with this.
I agree.
I agree with 3.5 stars.
I agree with very common.
Yep.
Hey,
Yep, seen a lot of these.
I may have made a very significant. How many stars is the highest? Is it 5 or 4?
4.
That old David
Oh, it's 4.
scroll.
Okay, I might have
four.
shot a little high on that one. I was thinking it was.
Oh, you talking out of 5?
How can I figure this out? Super Mario Brothers 3. Let's go to Super Mario Brothers 3 and see what
Okay.
they gave it. It's also probably in the beginning of the book, but that's not nearly as fun.
Do you have a PDF of the book?
No. this is a legitimate book.
Can't you see it in his hand?
Big Dick Pie Baker paid for, and we have.
Yeah, and
I'm sorry.
Didn't
I
you
had
hear the
eye
spine
surgery
crack?
today, and I can't see anything. So I was.
First you get a haircut, then you get eye surgery.
But I could hear him swiping with his thumb, so I thought maybe he was.
That's
looking
why
at a
you don't
PDF.
get LASIK for astigmatism, Ian. God.
Well, I found that out the hard way. At least I got a haircut before I lost my eyesight.
It is a 5-star rating system.
Okay.
Okay.
Super Mario Brothers 3 is 5 stars.
Well, then I
we know
think
that's the best NES game,
Top
so.
Gun is a little low. I think it needs
Yeah,
to be
I think
4
it
out
could
of
be at least
5.
4.
But okay, cool. Flopsy Jr. strikes for the first time.
yeah.
With that knowledge, how much do you think you guys would pay for it if you were to buy it used?
Oh God, I bet it's.
I'm real curious because I still got this motherfucker. So
I'm gonna go with $8.
$8?
Yeah.
$3.25.
$3.25.
damn, I know it's very common, but shit.
Yeah. Don't quit your day job, John. I have a
Like your
feeling.
Beanie Babies, just hold on to it.
Just hold on to it. Yeah,
Let me put it
okay.
this way. I wish you would have brought it so that I could just pay you cash money for it right now.
I'm not
'Cause I
willing.
don't know
I'm
that.
not willing to give it up, especially not for $3.25.
I know what I got.
Fine, I'll buy it from some dude on eBay that I don't know.
$5.
Actual retail value of Top Gun for the Nintendo Entertainment System, loose on average, according to PriceCharting.com, at the time of this recording, is $4.13. Is it worth it?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think that's
Hell yeah, it
absolutely.
is.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's the first hell yeah of this episode. Holy shit.
Almost left that spot blank on the bingo
I
card.
know. People are probably like, they finally outgrew it. Nope.
We're never gonna outgrow hell yeah.
We are
Hell
very,
no.
Oh.
What just happened?
Oh, there's a bunch of curveballs this episode.
Never underestimate how immature we are. We're gonna always come through with that.
Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you were to give this game a beard that sums up how you feel about it, what kind of beard and why?
I would give it
And why do you beard in such a fashion?
Josh Nance's middle school neck beard.
Oh, I didn't know he had a middle
Because
school
like
neck
levels
beard.
of this
in
game,
middle school?
there were only 4 and they were short.
If you were to give this game a pair of glasses, what glasses? Why?
I would give. Why use mini word when few
Save
words do
time when
trick?
talking.
If I use more words,
I would
then
give
less words
this
do
the
trick.
jeweler's loop of one Papa Chandler.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Because a lot of this shit in this game is so fucking small.
Terry got brought into the show. And it wasn't me complaining about him. That's a first. This is a bunch of curveballs. Damn. Good job.
Yeah, nice touch with the jeweler's loop. That's a good one.
Dude, he has a bunch of them.
Bet he does.
I used to play with them because there were so many. Serious.
Let's see. Next
a
week, what are we
joyous
gonna
time
do?
of my
Really
life.
did that shit.
Next
Oh,
week.
we're gonna do
So we
Karate
were gonna
Kid,
do
we wanna
Karate Kid, or do we wanna
Tracy,
do
we
Dick Tracy?
randomize? Want to do Top Gun
Oh, I think
Part 2?
I want to do. I want to do Karate Kid.
Karate Kid?
Is that an NES or SNES?
NES.
Oh, it's NES. Okay.
I'm starting to see a pattern here.
I think Karate Kid would be a solid follow up to Top Gun. We'll keep this shit deep in the 80s.
Same timeline.
so deep, it'd be crying.
You thinking it was rain?
Shit.
She
They be crying, and you thinking it was rain.
floss and fly Delta.
Run up in the sky.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. You can find this
Transition.
show on iTunes, SoundCloud, not Stitcher, but on Spotify, YouTube, all over the goddamn place.
And Apple just sent me an email and they're like, yo, do you still do a podcast? Because we need you to accept these terms. And I was like, oh, okay. So Apple Podcasts.
Yes.
You read that whole
Excellent.
EULA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So they
Thought
get-
of
so
course.
they
It's
get
very important
Henry.
to me.
We're not part of a human centipede right now.
They
or
get
anything.
Henry now. That's what you agreed to.
Well, I hope they like talking about planes.
They're like, here, take him back.
like,
He's too into planes for us.
do you have any War Eagles?
Dude, man, I sold him on the game. I told him he was watching YouTube on the couch, eating some popcorn, and I walked through and I was like, dude, you want to see War Thunder 8-bit? And he was like, what? War Thunder 8-bit. I got it up. He's like, what are you talking about? And so I went to the kitchen and got a drink, and I walked back through, and he's like, do you really have 8-bit War Thunder? And I was like, yeah, come check it out. He's like, okay. And he grabbed his popcorn and came in, and he was like, what is this? I was like, it's Top Gun. He's like, oh, okay. And he got his chair, and he watched. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Good way to get him interested.
Yeah.
Our theme song gets moved, especially when we're driving to that track found on the show notes at TADPOG.com. We got all sorts of shit going on, but I guess if you want to send something to us, just like Nate did, you send that to TADPOG Studios, Care for Nicole, Nance, Blue Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002.
Check the show notes. It's there.
It's all in the
And
show
it's
notes.
in the closer, the pre-recorded.
Oh, it is in the closer? I'm not even thinking. Well, we got that Patreon, but so please, Ian.
Patreon is a platform in which you can donate money to creators of things that you like.
I would like to know more.
Please go to patreon.com/tadpog or pisstasters.com.
Taste the piss.
Got a double stereo Taste the Piss that time. If you'd like to donate money.
Beatles album in here.
It is. If you'd like to donate money to the show, we appreciate each and every donation that we receive. It's really cool that people give us money for doing this because...
Did you laugh once?
Did you? Because I think that's worth $1.
It's worth $1. It is. It's in the Constitution.
The question you got to ask yourself is, would you buy that for $1? And if you would, go to patreon.com/tadpog and drop $1 on our page, and you'll get bonus content. We have some out there, some good stuff.
More importantly, you'll just feel better.
You will feel better.
You will feel better.
That is not approved by the FDA at this point.
We are not doctors.
We are
this
not
is not
doctors.
medical advice.
This is
Or
not
opinion.
medical,
But you will feel better.
and it is not
I will.
also not legal advice. Never, ever, ever take any advice we give on this show.
But taxes, though, let me tell you.
However, we do have a list of high donors that give us $20 or more per month. We call these our executive producers. And I'm going to read the list of those names like I do every week as their perk. It's their perk. They get to say their
Like 'em
nickname.
perky.
Their nicknames that we bestowed upon them just for being themselves. And I will read that list now, starting with Plinko Nick Price, Cubicle Monkey, Cthusiast Jeff Miners, Gamebug Prime Nathan Eaton, Matt Gentile, a.k.a. Gentle G, Louisville Correspondent, Princess Consuela, Banana Hammock, Flavor Trick, Taryn Dahl, congratulations on your marriage, Pinball Airplane Archmage Chris Edler, we're sorry you couldn't be on this episode, Sandwich Pope Phil Hawkins, Drink Smith Joey Webster, and Derek Pope Sandwich. Thank you all so much for your generous donations. It means a lot.
Yes.
Additional thanks out to Dane for putting the show up on YouTube every week.
Yep, thank you,
And Brad, once again, thank you for your email with all the fun facts about Top Gun and all the other emails you sent us. Just a quick announcement. I said this on the Discord. I want to make sure it's public in case anybody cares, not that it matters. John and I had planned on going to the Louisville Arcade Expo like we do every year. We will not be attending. If you had planned on coming up there to see us or just, hoping to see us or expecting to hang out, we must extend our regrets. I found out at the last minute that I had some things scheduled that weekend, and it turns out that's Easter weekend
It's
this
fucking
year.
dumb.
Yeah,
That makes
why
it
the
hard.
fuck?
That makes it harder for me. And what you said, hotel rooms are way more expensive.
Yeah, the hotel
Yeah.
room. I was going to look up hotel room prices because I was going to pick up the bill for that this year. And it was going to be this insane amount of money. And I was like, what the fuck? And then finally, Tanya reminded me, she said, I think Easter's that weekend. I'm like, no, surely they wouldn't do that. And I looked it up, and it is absolutely Easter weekend. Terrible decision on the part of
that's
Louisville Arcade Expo.
Very stupid.
You should know fucking better. But we're not going to be there for those reasons this year.
And here's the thing, like on their website, they're like, you should stay at the Marriott East Louisville. Like, literally saying, here's the fucking website. It's right next to us. Stay here. And yeah, those prices are way
Did you
more
look?
expensive.
Did you look? Because I was like, it was gonna be upwards of like $700
Yeah.
to stay 3 nights.
I'm out.
There wasn't anywhere near that much last year.
No.
And I was like,
it was not.
I was like, what the fuck?
Not even.
I mean, it's a nice hotel, but it ain't that fucking nice. And yeah, so I finally realized, oh, that's why it's so expensive, because of the holiday weekend. So no, sorry, we're not coming this year. If you had designs on seeing us and hanging out, it's going to have to wait until we can work that out again, maybe next year. Hopefully they won't do that shit again. I mean, Easter doesn't always fall on the same weekend. Usually it's in April, and ever so often it's the very end of March, which is in fact the case this year. So huge oversight on the part of the expo. You should be ashamed of yourselves and have fun, suckers. We ain't coming to spend our money with you. It's your fault. Fucking dickheads.
How you guys want to close it out? Maybe we just find out the hotel prices.
Yeah.
For the arcade expenses.
I like that one. It would be a reasonable facsimile of the way I sounded last week when I figured this out.
So until next time.
Tropical Capricorn? What the fuck? TADPOG is hosted and produced by Tyler Holland, Dave Moore, and Ian Chandler, and is available wherever fine podcasts are hosted. Have a question or comment for the hosts? Call us at 270-883-2555 and leave us a voicemail. We'll even play it on the show and respond eventually. Want to send us something? You can do that at TADPOG Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002. Sick of us doing all the talking? You can join in on the conversation by visiting our Discord at bit.ly/TADPOG or tastethepiss.com. Not many things are truly free these days, but our Discord is, and we'd love to see you there. Our theme song is Moves by Sycamore Drive, and a link to that track can be found at the show notes at tadpog.com. Thanks for listening, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcasting platform. We really appreciate it. Yes.
Cuban
bee.
It would appear.
Well, don't open it up all
Don't
the way.
open it? Okay. So it's just. Sorry, I don't know what's
Now
going
put
on.
them back.
I
Put
gotta
them
put 'em
back,
back.
and I'm going to need you to go ahead and tape it up again. You broke
okay.
protocol. Do you have
Start
tape?
over.
Do you have tape?
I don't.
I'm going to need you to go get some tape.
It's fine.
Well, I want it. Well, okay. It's something got crushed, I think, but I don't know.
It's fine. I don't want those in front of me. Someone else can open those, whether it's you or Tyler. It's fine.
How about we put it at Nicole's spot? No, that's not Nicole's spot. It's
That's kind of your spot.
kind of was my spot, yeah. Now I have my whole side of the table to myself. I'm important.